He is the most influential investment coach of African descent. He is a renowned real estate mogul. He is also the founder of Stephen Akintayo Foundation, SAF. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, he is currently spearheading a $200 million expansion project in the United States. Please, I believe that deserves a round of applause. Currently, as we speak, he's doing so many projects in Dubai, UK, US, and it is only in structure now that he visits Canada. And it's very timely. When you look at what's happening in the Canadian real estate market, you can see that his entrance into this environment is very, very key. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give him a beautiful warm round of applause. I can continue about his accolades. They are timeless. You can't even finish counting them. But one thing I can tell you is that they are far taller than the CN Tower. Ladies and gentlemen, there's one more thing I need to say. He is the husband of one wife and 3 beautiful children. Please, ladies and gentlemen, with a thunderous applause, please let's welcome Dr. Stephen Akintayo. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Please help me celebrate our awesome MC, aka Hype Man. And amazing. Please help me celebrate him. Thank you very much. I want to thank you. And I want to thank everyone that has worked hard to make this work. I always say that, for me, when you can give without loving, but you can't love without giving. Right? And when people you've never met are going extra mile to make sure you're comfortable, and it's not for the money, that is true love. Who knows what I'm talking about? Yeah. And it's very, very hard to find such in this day and age where everybody is all for themselves. And oftentimes, I tell people it's the reason for the increase in poverty globally. Because wealth is a function of selflessness. Let me say that again. Wealth is a function of selflessness. Nobody becomes richer by caring for themselves. Not one person. Okay? And I'll give a practical example so that it sinks in. How did Elon Musk become rich? By caring for himself? No. Right? Oh, I want to do electric car so that everybody can drive electric car. So the more electric car, the richer I got. 2 of us. Yeah. Oh, I want to preserve consciousness. So I'm going to Mars. Right? And the more he does that, the more people say, this kind of project, we need to put more money into it. And the richer he gets. You know why we are poor? Largely as people of color. We are oftentimes consumers rather than producers. And even when we are thinking of abundance, we're thinking of wealth, where does our mind go? Me. What meat I can get? How I can get more? We're not thinking of other people. I went to a particular hair salon yesterday, and I almost took a picture, and I really must do an article on this. And I could tell that a Chinese man owned the hair salon. But guess who were the clientele? Not Chinese. All that he was selling there, sulfur, hair cream, wig, everything. You know Chinese don't wear wig. Everything was for black people. Yes. And to show you how clever it was, the receptionists were not black. But how did I know he's the owner? When we said we laid this, oh, I have it. I said, this passion. Right? This passion. I love this one that goes with this is how diesel, original diesel. Who noticed that? Was it that your mind, you're like the richest black man? He's literally hawking diesel and petrol. That's how you know an owner. Yeah. He doesn't care about the title. Right? He might have employed people. Sometimes people come to where around me and they're shocked. I'm ready to move the books. I'm ready to move this. But this man has over 300 employees. Why is he, And it's gotten me into trouble many times because now people take it for granted. You do business with a subsidiary that has MD, that has customer service, that has everything. It's now the chairman. Look at the gap. Then the chairman of the organization is the one you're always talking to. They didn't send me email. Chairman of an organization. Because he's passionate enough, right, to just let's get the job done. And I saw this Chinese guy and I said to the persons who took me, and I said to them, this is the problem we have. Even to what we are consuming, we have refused to produce. Even to what we are consuming, right, we have refused to produce. And that is the reason we haven't built wealth. And so if we're really serious about the subject of building wealth, making money, I think the conversation needs to start with, what do people need? How can I provide it? How do we come together and provide solutions? That's really how wealth comes about. But when the conversation is about me, what I want, where I am, how, then we will not go far. So one more time, help me thank everyone who volunteered for this. Who picked me up from the airport, joined our volunteer meeting, brought flowers, did everything. And I'm not surprised you are the first to be here. And, and as far as I'm concerned, you are the one that matters the most. There is a scripture that says the husbandman that laboreth, right, must be the first partaker thereof. Does that make sense at all? Yes. You that you work hard for something, right, must be the first partaker. For me, it's yes, I'm using my money, get a venue, fly myself down, pay for my hotel. The least we can do in all the cities I visit is as some people come together and do publicity, come together and at least welcome one as we get to the city and make sure that things run smoothly. It's the least we can all do because this is a movement. I don't know if you agree with me.
Yep.
Right? It's a movement. Right? And I can tell you categorically, there's no white-skinned person that will save Africans. We need to face that reality. There is none. There's none. And I will tell you again, Japa will not save us. Japa will only give us exposure. God did, I don't know if you agree with me, the first person with Japa was Moses in the Bible. You know what I'm talking about? Right? Anytime God gives you an opportunity to travel globally, move to another country, what is he trying to do? Come on. Exposure. But more importantly, he has turned you to a deliverer. Giving you the exposure to do what? Go back and deliver your people. Go back. Because you have seen economy that work. You've seen, I came into Canada and I just noticed there was a lot of salt. And I'm very observant of everything. And I said, why did they put salt? So, well, for the snow. You see, where things work. Now, who do you think will fix Africa? Some white dude? They can try, but it's still you and I that will still have to fix what? Africa. I'm not making sense at all. It's you and I that will fix Africa. And it's important that you and I agree to the responsibility we have. But guess what? If you and I don't succeed here in Canada, forget trying to fix Africa. Right. The reason why many deliverers of Africa that have come from, foreign countries and then joined politics, why some couldn't change Africa, was because when they were here, what did they do? What were they able to achieve? I'm not making sense at all. And again, to the story of Moses, Moses so did well that you agree with me, the father-in-law handed over the empire to him. Who knows what I'm talking about? Yeah. Right? He literally took over the business. And he was in the period of doing so well in a foreign land. They said, no, come back to the original assignment. It makes sense? Yes. The same thing happened to Joseph. True? Mm-hmm. The same thing happened to who else? Come on, give me a name. Jacob. Oh, to their father, Abraham. Same thing. Same thing. So, my message to all of us here in Canada who live here is, you need to prosper here. Can you tell somebody, you can go and walk up to them, they are too far. Tell them you need to prosper here.
You need to prosper here.
Go and walk up to
you need to prosper here.
You need to prosper here.
You need to prosper here.
You need to prosper here. I agree. Right? You need to prosper. I love what this woman has done. She's going to talk to her husband. Oni, you need to prosper here. I like what this woman did. She went to tell her husband, you need to prosper. I like that. I love that. Right? She walked up to her husband and said, you need to prosper here. And it's true. The prosperity starts here. Starts here. A lot of time, people don't even understand the whole thing we're doing in the US is symbolic to what is possible to all of us. Honestly. Do I necessarily need to go to the US and expand the way we've done? Not really. Trust me, I have more headache in Nigeria to take care of than in Africa. But I realize that somebody has to play that symbolic role. I hope I'm making sense with you. That how many of you are aware that many Africans move to this part of the world, move with $1 million? Are you aware? Yeah. And still rent an apartment, and still look for a job, and still lose the entire $1 million that they brought from Africa? Yes. I kid you not, this is not. Yes. I met one in the UK. She was doing all business. She had tankers, she had everything. She moved to the UK and finished all the money and didn't even start a business. Everybody kept telling her, this is UK, this is UK. UK will humble you. Right? Face reality. Don't dream too big. What? So when I was moving to the US, I told my agent, I said, 5 acres or nothing.
Straight off.
I'm starting with my house. And I didn't have social security. 5 acres or nothing. Let's stretch our people's mind. They finally gave me 3.3 acres. I said, well, I will manage it. I'm humble. I'm a humble man. Right? And intentionally, I got to do. I said, do the drone, put it out. I'm not trying to show off. I want to tell people what is possible. Am I making sense with you?
Yes, sir.
When we acquired first property, people started gagging up in the US. Does he think this is Nigeria? 40 acre, 99 acre. This is not Nigeria. He thinks he can just come here and be doing big things, Well, before they say Jack Robinson, the second project, the third project, I think now they've kept quiet.
Okay.
Some of them now, it seems he knows what he's doing. Are we learning that?
Yes, sir.
Right? So stretch your mind. Remember that scripture that says, as far as what? Your eyes can see, God will give it to you. So I think the beginning, and that's for me my message. If I get into some of my books, I'm going to talk briefly about some of my books and the benefits. But I think the beginning of the conversation, are we together now? Is to help us understand that we should stretch our mind. I remember when I started visiting Dubai, and I would preach for churches, and at some point I got tired of preaching for churches. And I would stretch their mind just similar to this. And I just realized these people are not taking me serious. One day I said to them, if I come to this Dubai, you'll be shocked what I will achieve in 5 years. This Dubai. You know, of course, you know how our people think. He thinks it's Nigeria. You know, this is Dubai. When we finally moved to Dubai, in 1 year, we became the largest black-owned brokerage in 1 year. I started living in Burj Khalifa, right? I got a driver that is not black intentionally. Every morning, he will come to the front of Burj Khalifa, pick me up, and I will record myself intentionally. Coming out of Burj Khalifa, entering my car, takes me to my office. Right? And in 1 year, hear this. This was 2001. Today, there are a minimum of 20 black-owned brokerage. Massive in Dubai. See what I'm talking about?
Open the door.
Because somebody, you can clap very well. Because somebody showed the people what was what? Possible. Now, we don't all need to be security men and low-end kind of job. We can go big. Right? We can go big. And you watch out what will happen in North America in the next 5 years. You watch out. Particularly in the real estate sector. You watch out how people from Africa will start building estates. You watch out. Because all we need is somebody, am I making sense at all? To exemplify that it's possible. And I've said this over and over again, the deliverance of Nigeria is in you guys' hand.
Yes, sir.
Deliverance of Ghana, Cameroon, Kenya is in you people's hand.
Yes, sir.
Because you've seen where it works. Right? If somebody in Nigeria can tell you, oh, it's not possible to have roads without pothole, he's never seen it. Somebody in Ghana, where they have doomsaw, that's what they call when they take power and put it on, can tell you it's not possible to have straight electricity without any interruption. I'm not making sense at all. But you can tell people it's possible. You've lived it. Right? But the problem sometimes is that we are in a place of abundance, but we don't want to stretch. We don't want to stretch. We want to play safe. Because of what somebody will say in your church, what somebody will say in your mosque, what somebody will say somewhere you are. And I dare you to say, think it big. Let them say what they want to say. Right? Let them say what they want to say. I have two things I want to share here, and I mentioned in the podcast I did. Two things. Then we'll play my video and then we'll get started. Okay? Number one I want to share is this. And if you can write it down, please write it down. You have overcome poverty the day, right, you no longer care about what people think or say about you.
Yep.
I'll say it again. You have overcome poverty, at least 50%. The day you no longer really care what people think or say about you. Number two, and this is very important as well, that you have overcome poverty the day you are not afraid to lose, the day you are not afraid to fail. One of my biggest secrets is I'm not scared of failure. We fail and then we move again. You know what I know? You that you are mocking my failure, before you are done laughing at me, there's a success. Am I making sense at all? So you are laughing at this particular failure that I had. But before you say Jack Robinson, ladies and gentlemen, boom, I have a new success. So it's your opinion and you're entitled to it. And you're free to have your reservations and how you feel and how you think. Once you can make up your mind, I no longer care. If I fail, I will rise up again. There's a scripture I love. It says the righteous fall. Yea, he rise up 7 times. Right? So once you are no longer scared of failure, I promise you do big things. Yeah, we lose, you know. I often say when people reach out to me, oh, if something happened in business, I'll never do business again. I said, whoever is encouraging you not to do business again or not to invest is your enemy. I don't care how they put it. Jide lost money. Be careful, be careful. They are your enemy. They want you to remain at the floor with them. Every winner failed before. Every. Even in sports, does anybody win 100 meters, 8 seconds, they won, they started running? No. So the first day they tried, maybe 20 minutes for 100 meters. But they kept at it. That's failure, isn't it? But they kept at it. And for me, my argument is that we have to raise a new generation of people who are not afraid to fail. How many of you have seen Elon Musk's rocket? Anybody who saw those rocket launch? Did you notice what was funny? The day before President, who is that? There's noise at the back. If you want to close the door. Right? Let's just close the door, please. Close the door. If somebody's coming, let the person come in, but it's the noise. Are we together? Now, very important. Where was I? Who can remember?
Elon Musk.
Now, who remembered that one was successful, right? Then Donald Trump now decided to visit the next test. Who remember? And then that one was not successful. Who remember?
Yes.
Do you agree with me if it was an African setting? We're going to laugh.
Oh, yes.
Who knows what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes.
It will be all over the news.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And so Stephen Akintayo wants to show off to President Tinubu that his rocket works. Oh, he failed. The rocket failed. And then in people's houses, everybody's that gisting. Don't mind him. He likes to show off. Who does he even think he is? Somebody said that how you know small-minded people is that they discuss other people.
Yeah.
How we know great men is that they discuss ideas, witty inventions. And you notice, despite the rocket fail, it was still a big celebration. Trump was still proud of him. Everybody was still talking about it. Come on, let's get used to failure. Failure is not opposite of success. It's on the pathway to success. It's normal. It's a proof that you are very close to winning. Okay? So we'll play my profile and then we'll get started. Are we ready?
Please, a beautiful round of applause, please.
Real estate mogul and philanthropist of African descent. He is the chairman of G-Text Holdings, which operates across the US, UK, Dubai, and Nigeria, with multiple subsidiaries. He is also the founder of the Stephen Akintayo Foundation, SAF. He's a member of the Forbes Business Council and a recipient of several prestigious awards, including the Forbes Best of Africa Leading Investment Coach and Real Estate Mogul by Forbes Best of Africa Award, 2023. Dr. Akintayo spearheads a $200 million expansion project in the U.S., solidifying his impact in global real estate. His vision is to control 25,000 green and smart homes across 4 continents and have a real estate portfolio of $40 billion under management by 2035. Through the Stephen Akintayo Foundation, he aims to empower 1 million entrepreneurs by 2050, offering grants and mentorship to drive financial independence and sustainable development. An advocate for wealth creation education, he founded the Stephen Akintayo University. Robert Kiyosaki, John Maxwell, Brian Tracy, Grant Cardone, Ryan Serhat, Sam Adeyemi, Les Brown, Dan Locke, and Dr. Cosmas Maduka are among the many facilitators at Stephen Akintayo University and authored 45 books, including Billionaire Habits. They are available on Amazon or visit store.stephenakintayo.com. He hosts investment chat on Rolls-Royce and other influential platforms, featuring global thought leaders. Despite humble beginnings in Maiduguri, Nigeria, Dr. Akintayo overcame adversity to build a multi-billion-dollar empire. He holds degrees in microbiology, strategic leadership, and real estate investment, and is a Harvard alumnus. Driven by social impact, he launched the Mercy Food Bank, aiming to feed 1 billion people by 2050. Dr. Akintayo loves adventures like travel, skydiving, scuba diving, hot air balloon experience, swimming and golfing, and many more adventures. He's married and blessed with children, and continues to inspire through his transformative vision, leadership, and philanthropy. To invite Dr. Stephen Akintayo for a speaking engagement, kindly visit www.stephenakintayo.com/booking or email ea@stephenakintayo.com. Dr. Stephen.
Okay, thank you. I thought you would clap. Okay, so this is the part 2 of our training. We started earlier, a bit earlier. I don't do African time, so for me, I love to start my session as early as possible. I have 2 new books, and you guys will be glad to know, outside of Houston, you're the first city for me to review the 2 books. Are you happy to hear that? So we have the Global Real Estate Handbook, and then we have the ABCs of American Real Estate Investment. Now, this you can call North American Real Estate Investment. As you know, most North American real estate process is almost the same, right? The same way you acquire properties in the US is how it's done also here in Canada. True or false? Yes. Okay. So we're going to review the 2 books. I have other ones here. I mean, the Popular Billionaire Habits. This is the highest selling book I've ever had. That's sold over 100,000 copies worldwide. And then we have the Billionaire Code. This is like the part 2 of that one. And then we have here today, Maximizing Real Estate Investment, a very powerful book that gives you a general feel on real estate anywhere in the world. We have the Billionaire Land Banker, so this focuses more on land. And I have argued that if we want to go far as a people, we need to start acquiring lands, right? Trust me, you have to start acquiring lands. It's one of the easiest way people like us can make headway here. In the US, for example, an average home is like $500,000 average, right? Now, you need to deposit, let's even say you're doing 15%, and then you're getting 85% mortgage, right? Now, what is 15% of 500,000?
That is like
75,000. So, how many immigrants from Africa can afford to drop 75,000 cash? And you know, this doesn't include the closing cost. You still have other bills as well, to pay. So maybe you're looking at 85,000. How many people can do that? But you agree with me that it's easy to get a land for 20,000, 30,000. And whether you like it or not, 10 years will soon pass. 20 years will soon pass, and you're in the same Canada, or you're in the US, or you're elsewhere, right? What will happen to that land?
it will appreciate.
If you know how to buy it, of course, not just any kind of land,
Yes.
right? But if you know the right kind of land to buy, I can assure you that your chance of becoming a real-time owner of property in this part of the world is higher, right? Because you can start small. And one of the revolution I'm spearheading in all of North America, but I'm starting with Houston, is to start helping people from African descent. Of course, again, when I say people from African descent, I will position to help our people. But I'm not waiting for our people. I hope, please don't get it twisted, right? So if you come to my office in Houston and you don't see one black person, don't say, but the guy said he was trying to help Africans. You know, I will position my business properly, right? But I will do my best to also position it such that it will be easier for people who come from where I am from to also acquire property. Does that make sense? Now, one of these I'm pioneering, and in the next 5-10 years, is hopefully going to come to Canada as well, is to begin to acquire large number of lands and give people opportunity to do land banking. Buy the land, 1 acre, 2 acre, leave it. Because like play, 5 years we just like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
10 years like that, 20 years like that. And as much as some of us may have even sought out our mortgage, I want us to know that in this part of the world, please can someone stop this video because it's distracting people. In this part of the world, the only way to build wealth is through real estate.
Yes.
Some of the ways to make money can be tech, can be crypto. But the only way to build wealth, and when we say build wealth, you know what I'm talking about? For you to even be wealth, it must be durable. True of us. It must be long lasting. True of us. Is through real estate. I'm being as honest as I can to you. One of the largest land bankers in the world today is Bill Gates. As Bill Gates begins to age, he's putting all his money to keep buying land. He currently owns over 500,000 acres globally. And he's not the only one. It's one of the secrets of the white families. That's why you see a lot of the white families having second generation rich, third generation rich, fourth generation rich, 5th generation rich. These guys are deep in how they think. Bishop Tudo Bismarck said one time he was invited to South Africa to preach. And they said it was young entrepreneurs. And in his mind, he thought the conversation was with young people, and mostly maybe Africans in South Africa. I hope you know that 97% of the wealth in South Africa is controlled by white South Africans. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
Right? Only for him to get to the venue, I guess those he met, white South Africans. Young, but they were 5th generation of farmers. They inherited from one to the other, to the other, to the other. I went to a particular property someone wanted me to buy. It's over 20,000 acres in Texas. And they farm on it. So he introduced me to the farmer, true story, to the owner of the farm. And then we got talking, before you know, he said, my dad is on his way. And then I met the dad. And then he said, Grandpa also comes. And that's when I knew that it was the 3rd generation. He was the only one that went to school. So after he graduated, what did he do? He then introduced modern technology. In fact, because this was over 20,000 acre farm. So they didn't need to buy over 2,000 out of it. And then we're seeing all manner. I saw tractors, machines in farming I've never seen in my life. Huge. And then the son was breaking down for me how he took over the farm. I think the farm was less than 3,000, 5,000 when he took over. And now, because the one I came to is over 20,000, but he still have others. They now farm on about 100,000 acres.
Wow.
The 3rd generation took that business to that level. Ladies and gentlemen, if we want to be serious about wealth for people of color, you have to think of ownership. And it begins with land. I tell people, when God wants to bless you, give you land. The owner of the land determines the religion of the land, the law of the land. What happens on the land. The proof God has blessed you gives you land. So I see us excited. I got my mortgage. I have my one house. Thank God for that. But you need to think deeper. You need to think deeper. How many of us will be honest? Because I have seen parents who told us, let me say in Yoruba, I decided to leave Africa because of my children. Huh?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many of us are honest to start realizing the trends that those children did not prosper in foreign land until they got back home. Even in entertainment. Davido was born in Atlanta. Or grew up in Atlanta, even if he wasn't born. Did anybody hear about it in Atlanta? Top place of US until he got back home. T.Y. Savage, Banky W. I can take you to other sectors in business as well. Names. In business as well. So we need to become honest with that. And you know the reason why. Who can guess why? That we shout, we did this whole movement because of the children. And many of the children don't still break through until they go back home. I was in the UK and, you know, I met this young volunteers for one of my conferences. Young, 20, 22. So I just left Nigeria. I'm going back to Nigeria. I'm starting business in Nigeria. All of them, that's what they are talking about. Nigeria, Nigeria, Nigeria. And you, the parents. And I remember in my mind, I kept wondering. Until one day I asked one of them who volunteered to be my peer. I said, so where do you work? You're a graduate? Do you know what she told me? So I work with my McDonald's. I said, I get it. Now I understand. Graduates study in the UK and now still works in McDonald's. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Right? So, am I making sense at all? So, many of we parents need to really start rethinking this thing. We want wealth for the next generation, but we're not providing anything for them to do here that points to wealth. And the world has since changed. Your future is no longer about your degree. That was your generation. Somebody can be in a studio and he knows how to come up with a software that produces sound. And he will become a multi-millionaire in one room apartment. He knows how to code some games. And before you know it, he's, like we say where we come from, blown. Don't blow. Don't hammer. While you are still carrying English, you know, as a matter of fact. PhD successes. I went to Geneva last year. I met this young lady. She's doing her master's. And then she's so frustrated. You know, and she's looking for a job, you know. And of course, the parent paid for the master's. She still needed more money. Each time she talks to her dad, the dad said, when I was 20, I left home. I started taking care of myself. I didn't need anybody's help. I have paid for your master's. You still need my help for accommodation. She said she got tired of it. And that she wasn't getting a job. Thank you. And I said something to her. I said, are you aware that in the Western world, your simple certification is higher than your master's?
Correct. Correct.
She said, my parents said they insisted. And my father said, you must get masters. You know, because she was frustrated why she wasn't getting it. I think she was even done with the masters or something. I said, you go look for a certification of what you study. And I promise you, after that certification, you get the job. Why? Most parents don't know. Most of this EU, the certification is part of how the regulatory bodies controls what they are doing. So they care less about the degree. The person must still be certified in that software. It could be in accounting. There's one software that you still need to go and get certification in. And if you like, be the most genius in accounting. If you don't know how to use that software, you will not get a job. Because EU has insisted all companies must what? Use that software. Are we learning here?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So we end up frustrating our children and we are wondering why we are not building wealth. If you were to have been a farmer in Canada, will your children not at least think of, okay, how do I take the farm to the next level?
Yes.
Right? How do I use all that I have now learned to take it what? To the next level. If you're a chef, Just like this lady that won Guinness Book of Record. Who remembers?
Hilda.
Hilda, right?
Yeah, that's-
The mom had this Mama Put,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
She learned she sponsored her to a private university, learned how to take it to the next level. Now winning Guinness, and you know our restaurant is top notch.
Yes.
You see how people take things from one generation to the second generation. Am I making sense to talk?
Yes.
This is how we need to start thinking, sir. This is how we need to start thinking. The culture of, I'm in Canada, Oluwatishe, giving testimony, hallelujah, is amen. This is my 10th year in Canada. What have you achieved? In 10 years, what did the 10 years in Canada bring? Come on, let's wake up. What did it bring? I remember years ago, I would visit some people in diaspora. You know how they would be stylishly mocking you because they feel you are coming from Nigeria. It's the day they now come and visit us in Nigeria and realize we've cornered the route. They will not realize that we're not fools. We're not fools. In those days, I would do something and say, what do you mean? Somebody will come from Nigeria to come and train us here in America.
Okay.
What does he know?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Today, many are getting a bit humbler.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Getting humbler. Somebody, one of my friends, reached out to me and said, I have been doing real estate 20 years in this Houston. I have not been on any television. You've not even spent 3 months. All the TV stations are having you. How did you do it?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, tap your neighbor, say stretch, 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 stretch. I promise you, if you are stretched, you will have been on all those stations. There's no big deal to it. It's just stretching. Stretch. Stretch. Right? I thank God for how we're doing well in our career. Glory be to God. But nobody transfer wealth to the next generation by being an employee, sir. Nobody does it.
That's it.
Nobody. It won't move. So we need to be in this country and then start strategizing. Somebody told me, those who be in Canada, be careful. It's gossip. Gossip. Who is sleeping with which person's wife? Who is gisting with this? I said, I have come to change that myself.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and think of how do we build the largest real estate company here? How do we build the largest? How do we make sure we come together like the Indians? Political force. Okay, are you telling me all Indians are saints? Answer me.
No.
So how come you've not seen them post pictures across Zoom that you now saw and say, be careful of Mr. Okoro, he's a thief? When last did you see an Indian post?
They don't do that. They don't do that.
Talk to me. Or the Jews. You think all Jews are holy, eh?
Nah.
Eh? All Jews, you do business with them, all of them.
Nah.
There's nobody that makes mistake. Is that what we think? So why are we the ones who are quick? You know the people I blame. So oftentimes, this I tell people, I say, look, I don't blame anyone who is gossiping, the gossipy, right? Is it the gossipy or the gossip?
All of them together. All of them together.
No, anyone. I think it's the gossipy. The gossiper is the one spreading it.
All of the above.
Right? I don't blame the gossipy, I blame the gossiper.
Yeah.
You that you accept the message
That's it.
and become the carrier, you are the one that have issues with. You that you see somebody damaging another person's reputation and you accept it, I have an issue with you. Right? You that you agree to believe the worst in the next person, I have an issue with you. Because we can do more. We can do more. People fail in business. That's why it's a risk. I was chatting with somebody, I said, look, there are risks to businesses. The fact that you did business with Mr. G and you lost money does not mean Mr. G is a criminal. Wake up! It's an investment. It's an investment. You may lose money. It's what it is. It's what it is. It's what it is. I remember, and I want to encourage, and I have a new book myself and Dr. Cosmos are launching next month. It's called Scaling with Integrity. I can tell you categorically, I don't care what anybody say. You can say I'm biased. I'm a Nigerian. The people with the highest level of integrity in business I've ever seen are Nigerians. Mark the first 10, and I knew what I'm saying. And I will tell you where we are missing it. The first 10 million naira I lost in business was to a European company. We were doing bucket service in Nigeria. And I remember the guy said, well, look, Stephen, because I paid 10 million, the SMS was not delivering. He said there's a new law that when they use some code, the SMS won't deliver. But 10 million gone. So when I was complaining, I said, look, Stephen, I can come to your office, we talk over tea. And truly he came to my office, was sipping tea, 10 million gone. I was explaining why the 10 million was gone. And I still shook hands and he left. And I remember the reason he said to me, if this were a Nigerian like you, you would have called losses.
Scammer.
You love called like, yeah, it's a thief. It's a roll. Hey. Right? Where do we miss it? We don't confront people. That I'm sorry, this is the evidence, I did this business, I did this, I lost the money. A white guy would do that. Yeah, here's the screenshot. We paid this, we paid that, but we lost it. Yeah, sorry, Jim. True of us. You make too much noise. What will you call? You call police on you. And that's when you will know that the threat you are threatening is criminal and the business you did with him is civil. Two different things. It's when the police are not explaining to you, you now realize that I didn't know I should. I'm sorry. Because when you and somebody do business and something goes bad, it's called civil. Go to court. Right? If you think you have something titled, go to court. Right? And if the courts claim, even when we try to go to court, we screenshot the thing, put it on the internet. I have sued. As if suing is equal to somebody sent me something about somebody who carried my name. Said, Stephen Akintayo and his colleagues scammed me 50,000. I said, did anybody who has sense go through that document and check? Let's even look for a Stephen Akintayo account he paid to. Or any of Stephen Akintayo companies. There's none. It was all sensation. And you will see some people believe it and start carrying it. I knew that guy, I knew. When you say it's 200 million, they say, okay, is it 50,000 they used to do 200 million project? You see how we think. Why am I addressing this? This is the reason why we are not taking big.
Yes, sir.
This is why we are not going big. Because you are like me many years ago when I started real estate. A young man came to my office and said, look, Stephen, this business can be bigger than this. I know you. I said, me, I'm a church boy. I don't want my name to spoil. A good name is better than this one. They will drag your name. Because in those days, somebody can enter our office, pay 150,000 deposit. The next week, say, my mother is sick, I need the money back. And then we say, we're not a bank. Before we put in a WhatsApp group, see, my guy scam me. Give him this. I can't pay. I don't want my name to spoil. So the guy looked at me and said, give me a billionaire in Nigeria or outside Nigeria that they've not drug. Says Elon Musk. Says, so why do you want to be great, but you don't want to go through the process? Are we learning at all? Is that a clean name? Give me one billionaire with a clean name. Where somebody please give me one clean name. You. You see what I'm saying? There's none. There's one issue or the other. Because you will never see a star without a scar. Have you seen a military general, 4-star general, but no scar? Clean skin, smooth, very fine. Some that are fine facially, let them off their shirts. Over there, I sit with President Obasanjo and he shares some stories, you just shake your head, of what people like this have gone through. And yet, many of us who have not even gone through 10% and have not been in their shoes will castigate them till Jesus comes. And you wonder why we're not making progress. Because can you build a skyscraper without a foundation? Some of these people, we should go and ask them, why did you fail? Or why is Nigeria like this? That's what the question I asked them. Why is Nigeria like this? And when they break some things down to you, now understand that they are not really people you should be insulting. You should understand what went wrong and see how you can build on the what? The foundation. Is that not why most government come and then they start all over again? I don't know if you noticed. Because you kick what the previous government did. And it only happened in Africa.
Yeah.
You kick what the previous government did. And then you start from. One of the powerful experiences of how the Western world works is Donald Trump's first tenure. As much as Donald Trump said, Putin and I are friends, you still hear new sanctions by US against Russia. Who remember?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
As well as you say, oh, me and Xi Jinping, we had lunch. You see here a new sanction against China. Who knows what I'm doing? Yeah. Because it doesn't matter the emotion of the president. What has been started by previous presidents will continue. Doesn't matter. Are we learning something here? So, are we ready to build wealth?
Yes, we are ready.
Come on, talk to me. Are we ready to build wealth?
Yes, we are ready.
Right, so in the first, which book should I discuss first? I have two here.
Billionaire Habits.
That's the best.
That's the best seller. I will talk about it. But among these two new books,
Yeah, I think ABC of America.
ABC of America.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, as much as you say ABC of America is as good as ABC of North America, right? So in chapter 1, we discuss asset classes in North America, asset classes. It's important to, let me ask us, is a mortgage an asset or a liability?
It depends.
Depends.
It depends.
Takes money out.
It depends.
Property. You're putting out for rent, people are paying you. So that why
It's an asset.
But if you get it because you want to live there, it's
It's
a
liability. Yeah.
Beautiful. Please clap for him. So you are disagreeing with him that it's an asset. Yeah? I remember when I started teaching this about 7-8 years ago, and people will cuss me out on social media. Right? I said, what's he talking about? Nonsense. He said we should go and become tenants.
Yeah.
Right? So a mortgage is a liability, same way a car is a liability, except you're using the car for Uber. Except you're using the mortgage, right, as a rental property. Right? However, it's important to know, please get it right. Some of us, for example, someone will say, but you bought a multi-million-dollar house in Houston, right? Is that not a liability? Right? But how much is my house compared to a $200 million project I'm doing? Do you see the difference? Am I making sense at all?
Yes.
So if you have a investment real estate arm, then it's okay to spoil yourself. Is this making sense at all?
Yes.
With a what?
Yeah.
With a mortgage that you live in. And it doesn't matter, you can make it as big as I like it. I live on a 3.3 acre property in Houston, but it's because I have tons and tons of real estate investment all over the world, so I can do that now. But we're saying that you're starting your journey. And then the first thing is to say, I want to get a mortgage. most times it's a liability because that house does not belong to you.
Straight up.
God forbid, it's the day you miss 2-3 payments, you now realize.
Straight up.
And you now realize the loss. Because you've been faithful for like 5 years. Some have been faithful for 10 years. Am I making sense? And then in your mind, I was sharing this with one of my bank managers. You know, I just bought this property and it was like, you know, and my property got a $300,000 equity and I was scared to buy another new house. I said, that's not wise of you. What are you keeping the equity for? Buy another property and rent it out. Let it be a cash producing real estate asset. Right? There's nothing you are doing just sitting there enjoying the equity. The equity is not helpful. Right? And that's the secret of the rich. The rich use what we call OPM. Everybody say OPM. OPM. Right? OPM and OPT. Other people's money, other people's time. So you must first of all even understand asset classes. So when we say, yeah, well, all real estate is asset class, not all real estate. Cash producing real estate is an asset class. I hope this makes sense at all. And this is what we're sharing in chapter 1. You need to understand what is an asset. Because if you don't, you will have things that you think are assets, but they're actually what? They're liabilities. Why has a lot of people living in this part of the world not have time to build wealth? It's because you came to this part of the world, you got a car loan, isn't it?
Yep.
You got a mortgage.
Yep.
Now you live for the system.
Straight up.
You can't even dedicate 4 hours to come and learn something from somebody else. Because it's $20 an hour, $30 an hour. I mean, how much do you $50 an hour, $70 an hour. And then it's, you do overtime. If I do overtime, they will give me more money.
More tax.
And then take more from you.
Thank you. So it becomes a what? A rat race. And let me show you the wickedness of what most of us do as a people in terms of how the system is rigged against you. Is that, are you aware that as a businessman now I determine my tax?
Yep.
Yes.
100.
As an employee, it's from source.
Straight up.
They did not expect it.
Right? So I'm planning for a private jet now, right? Because my tax budget in the next 2 years will be heavy. Oh, it makes sense at all?
I feel you.
But a private jet is tax deductible. Of course, some people hate me for it, they won't even understand how it works. It's either I pay that money in tax.
Oh, you use it.
Wait,
to-
you need
Right?
to
Or I say, well, I bought a corporate jet, yes, company that owns it. It will be my name.
Straight up.
Right? Oh, yeah, you see, he bought Rolls Royce, he's wasting money. Right? Well, it's tax deductible. So you see why I'm emphasizing that we must face the reality that some of the approach some people have started is anti the system. Am I making sense to talk?
Yeah, sure.
This is a what? Capitalist system. And no matter how Justin Trudeau tried to turn it to socialism, they will kick him out. And you are seeing that now. The charity of anybody can come to Canada is about to end. I hope you know that. It's about to end. So understand the system so that it doesn't work against you. Am I making sense, John? The system favors the brave. It favors those who can take risk, who can go to the bank, take the loan. Okay, I'll give a very simple example. Are you aware if you say, true story, you want to get a mortgage, you now. The first thing they will be asking is for your what? Credit. So, are you aware? Now, do you know that if you open a new company today, and you say that new company wants to buy property, are you aware you qualify? Don't ever ask credit score. It's a new company. I'm not making sense at all.
Yep.
So I see people say, I couldn't get a company, I couldn't buy a property. Yeah, because you're trying to buy it in your name. You're trying to buy your name. You register a company and let the company be the one that wants to what? Buy the property. And then you will see how good your so-called bad credit is. Are we learning here?
Yes.
Are we learning here?
Yes.
So I remember this happened to me very rare. I went to purchase a Rolls Royce. And then they said, well, I don't even have a driver's license. I don't have any ID card in Texas or anything. Now, a company, of course, my company is the one buying it, told me why. It's company buying home in my name. So I then said, okay, one of my assistant is been in the US for over 20 years. Let them put it under his name. He's one of our directors as well. As soon as they ran his own credit or whatever, they said, no more, he's not qualified. I said, why? He said his last car was $45,000. He cannot come and buy a Rolls Royce of $450,000. It's too much a jump. See the difference? Right. A new company qualified. Right? Somebody who has been in the system for 20 years does not qualify. And even me, that don't yet have a social security, if they add me to the company, I qualify.
Yes. Okay.
Are we learning here? Because these are things we don't know in this part of the world. And so everything keeps looking difficult. Right? Oh, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. All these guys who are rich, it's in their company.
Yeah.
That's why they keep getting richer. Some of us have been here 5 years now. Confess sometimes. You've not rented one company. Even if you don't know what you do with it, register it. Are we together now?
Yes, sir.
Register what? Register it. I've not done 1 year in US. I already have more than 20 registered companies. Almost every week I register a new. You know I'm going, it's only 100. Register. Because if something happened to one, it must not affect the other. So everybody is a company on its own. Are we learning here? Yeah. So understand, and that's what we talked about in chapter 1, asset classes. Because once you get it, and you know what is really an asset, and what is a liability, you're on your way to what? Building wealth. How many of you promised me that you register your company this new week? If you don't have one, go and register it.
Register more.
Right? Register more. If you have more, yes, register more. Register more. Who noticed what happened in COVID? I know whether it happened in Canada.
It's happened there.
It happened in Canada. You have a register company, you can
Access funds.
loan that you don't need to pay back. Oh, Jesus.
Free money.
Free money. If I remember when my mentor said, see, you have a company here. And then I don't. And I had even shut down my own companies then. You know, I said, how many companies you have? I can help you get the money. I'll just take percent. He's a lawyer. So I'll just take 10%. 10%. We can get the money. And people are making money. That's part of what led to the inflation that is haunting the world all over the world. Are we learning here? Okay, chapter 2. So we looked at also what is real estate investment. Still under chapter 1. And this was important because understanding that real estate is different from real estate investment. Like we shared, owning a house on a mortgage and you live in it, yes, it's real estate, right? But until you buy same house on same mortgage, but you rent it out to somebody else, that's when it now turns to real estate investment. Make sense at all? Yeah. Another word is until it starts generating cash flow, it is not yet a real estate. It can be a real estate, but it's not yet a real estate investment. So anytime you're taking real estate going forward, guys,
look at it from the angle of investment, cash flow, source of cash flow, source of passive income, right? And not where I live with my family, my own house. It was our grandparents' mindset, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's good because in Africa, we do things by cash. You know what I'm talking about, right? You buy a land, cash. So this rule is different in Africa. So if you buy a house in Africa, even if you live in it, it's an asset. Because remember, you are not paying mortgage, are we together? There's no interest on the property. And nobody's going to take your property from you because you default. But in the Western world, because you are using credit, so the house that you buy, your mortgage and you live in, is not an asset. I hope this makes sense at all. So you must approach it with that mindset. And I want to beg those of you who already have houses that now have equity, go and meet somebody who understands real estate investment, cash out the equity and get the second house. And rent it out. Are we learning here? Yeah. So all this fear, what if it goes wrong? Go for a real estate class. Pay. If I asked you guys to pay $20,000, you won't come. But how many white people pay $20,000? Many. Like this man was sharing with us, where is he? He said Aziz. Right? What changed his real estate business was $6,500. Right? And the guy said, I know you don't have the money, but figure it out. Pay it. And he paid, and that was the turnaround of his real estate business. Part of our problem as people of color, we want it free. And even when they do it free, we come late. Like most of you came late today. If you pay $20,000, will snow allow you miss 1 hour part of the class? You will be there before the time. As I say, if you pay, you will pay attention. Right? If you pay, you what? That's why I tell people, I said, the reason why speakers and successful people ask you to pay, it's not that they need the money. Right? It costs me way more than $20,000 to be here. Right? And it's nothing to me. So it's not the money. It's that if you pay, you will pay attention. It's for you. Because and that's one of the things the man said. He said, after I paid that money, I became more serious. Because I knew how I borrowed and all of that to do. So I knew I must use what I learned. Are we together now? I must use it because I can't just let that money waste. But when you don't pay, you can first say, well, I said, how was your seminar? Doctor said, the guy is good, it's okay. He said, it's okay. So 10 things you learned. Well, just talk about real estate. It's good. It's okay. That's it. Gone. But if you pay, hey, there's some who are not writing now. If you are paid, your diary will have been this big. Right? Because you want to take everything. This thing I pay, I must milk it out. Are we learning here? If you pay, you what? Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. So please, let's invest in paying. Chapter 2, I talked about my biggest secret to real estate, power of relationship. Right? Power of relationship. Another word for relationship is OPT. Quality people. Quality people. I spend so much money now going to places I can meet quality people. Right? I'm starting a course in Harvard in May. $150,000. It's for founders and owners of businesses. The reason why I am paying, it's not because there's anything they want to teach me there, and it's not my first time in Harvard. It's the people I will meet. Anybody else that can pay $150,000. We're learning now. Because I often see people say, how do I meet quality people? Where they are. Go where they are. Go where they are. Go to where they are. Have you joined a golf course recently? And see the quality of people at that golf course. So you know, it's difficult to meet powerful people in Canada. Join a golf course and you see how powerful you can be. Right? Go to where those who have the mindset are. Go there. Go there. The first thing I think many of us have to kill, if we're really serious about work, and why is relationship important with real estate? Who knows what I'm talking about? Why is it important? Even that. You can only sell to the degree of the quality of relationship you have. It's as simple as that. If they don't buy, their friends will buy. One of my mentees sold, he moved from selling 50 million every year as a realtor to selling one deal 1.3 billion. What happened was in a class like this, and I told him, I said, join a golf course. I said, if you don't, in your church, in your mosque, meet somebody who play golf and tell them you carry their bag. So in his church, one of his pastors is very rich and he plays golf. He says, sir, next time you're going to golf, I'll carry your bag, let's go together. I said, no problem. They invited him. While they were playing golf and talking, I meet also I said to realize, I said, really, I'm looking for a property, I want to do an estate. What's your budget? 1.3 billion. Deal closed there. First golf, in fact, the guy, he came to my office and they bought all my books, paid for all my salary. I said, this guy's like, he's a prophet. He's a, how? I moved from selling 50 million in a whole year to 1.3 million. One transaction, one. So when I say my secret in life and business is relationship, I will pay anything to connect with powerful people. Anything. And it's not because I want their money. But either them or their friends is on my way to the top. My relationship with themselves will make their friend jealous. They will even connect. This guy I see you around nowadays. Who is this? Stephen? Great guy. Great guy. I know some people that I was chasing them. Right? When I got close to Dr. Cosmos, they were not chasing me. Yes, sir. Right? Because there's nobody that markets me more than Dr. Cosmos. You know, he just talk about me. That very young man, I'm proud of him. Steven, great guy. I think he messaged me some time ago. I look at you see? So you want to begin to build relationship with people that matter because you can't sell higher than that. You can't, you know. And let me say this powerfully. Are you aware that there's a level of wealth you get to? Your biggest money doesn't even come from the companies you own. It comes from your friends sharing their problems. Oh, okay, I know a guy that can help you. How much do you budget for it? Right? Again, I didn't hear this from Dangote or Tedola. But Tedola, I hope you know, was always like Dangote bestie about his refinery. Like, I bet you that as much as he doesn't want that refinery, he provided a lot of support. Because remember, he's the one that has oil and gas experience, not Dangote. I don't know that you understand. The reason why he owns a bank today because of that refinery. Because a bank has to handle that transaction, hope you know. And we're talking about billions of dollars. So he just positioned himself. Do you see how relationship can be powerful? Even amongst friends. Just position yourself to solve your friends, your billionaire. Because when you say someone is a billionaire, he has a billionaire problem. I hope you know what I'm talking about. So all you need to do is position yourself to be able to solve those kind of problems. Let me say this, and this is very powerful. Are you aware that if you want to make more money, you really don't need to work harder? You just need to change your clientele. Let me say that again. I'm not sure it's Sanko. If you want to make more money, right, you don't need to what?
Work hard.
Work harder. In fact, let me say this. The current clients you have, it's more difficult to satisfy them compared to rich man.
Yeah.
You do catering for a wealthy family, and you know what I'm talking about, and see how grateful they are. Right? You do the same catering after they've negotiated you to the lowest of the lowest of the catering. Miss, do you notice that it's too salty? Or is it me? They'll still rubbish the thing. So you want to make more money, just start serving richer people. Period. It's not more hard work. It's not change the quality. Package it better. No. Change who you serve. One day I announced in Dubai, I said, from today, if you want to buy a property less than $1 million, don't even message me. Talk to my staff. You need to see the insult on social media. Very arrogant. What does he even have that is talking? You see why God doesn't want to lift some people up? And the person went on and on. But guess what happened? People started messaging my DM. The millionaires. Say, correct. You have a property of this amount. I was speaking their language. And I knew that would happen, by the way. Don't forget the masses. Those who will make you rich is not the crowd. It's not the crowd. Are we learning at all? Yes. So, can I give you an assignment? Are we open to that? Yes. 7 new friends this January, before January ends, who are minimum 20 times richer than you are. So if you're currently a millionaire, who is worth $20 million? Right? If you currently are worth $20 million, who is worth 40? Right? If you're worth $100,000, right? Who is worth, what's that? 4 million? Okay? 20 times richer. Build relationship with them. Be intentional. This is not to say you look down on people. I didn't invite any one of you today because you're a millionaire, isn't it? Right? But so naturally you meet people who are not millionaires, but you must be intentional to meet millionaires. Right? And 2 poor people cannot help themselves. Yes. Right? One has to get to the top before he throws the rope to help the other. Right? And you have no idea of how powerful what I'm saying, because people who teach about everything is about money. Everything is not about money. May you not have a relation dying of cancer like I had my mother. Right? And one of the biggest pain of my life about the death of my mom was when we had to bury her the day, and then they gave me the receipt. It was 800 and something thousand. And I said to myself, is it because we didn't have 800 and something thousand? Because the illness had started 6 months prior. Right? But we kept sending her to government hospital. We didn't have money for private hospital. And then by the time her boss saw her, Tommy was like 9-month pregnant woman. So they all gathered in the office and were really crying. And like, okay, we need to, even if we, the staff, we pay the money, let's send her to a private hospital. So they then move her to a private hospital. In 4 days, what government hospital couldn't do in 6 months was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, but it has spread. So when I looked at the receipt, you mean 800,000 naira? That we have had this money, we will have sent her to a better hospital. Maybe she will have lived, at least she will have lived longer. Yeah. She may still have died, but a bit longer. And that was the final straw. So today, I have no sympathy for poverty. Some people have that. What you tolerate stays. And some of us tolerate poverty. Right? Some of us are okay that you are missing payment. It's okay for you. You are not angry that is happening. And that's why you remain where you are. You have to get to a point, am I making sense at all, where you are angry about anything that resembles poverty in your life. And at that point, ideas of how to come out of poverty start coming. But when we don't work on that, and that's why some of us care about what somebody said. Right? Okay, what if the business fails? How will people look at me? Who cares? Then you start another one.
That's right.
Then another one. Then another one until it works. That's when you're really hungry for success. Is this making sense at all?
Yes.
Tell your neighbor, two poor people cannot help themselves. Tell your neighbor, I'm on my way to wealth. Hope you are not. Chapter 3, understanding real estate markets. So we talked about fundamental analysis, supply and demand. You must understand the season you are when it comes to real estate. Are you aware this is the best time to invest in real estate? Right? Oh, yes. The best time for you maybe would have been last year. I heard the interest rate is coming down.
Yeah.
But that's the bad time to buy. When the interest rate is low. That's what you should say. You should buy when I tell people I don't invest in any country except there's blood on the street. I only invest when there's bad market. I got $1 million discount on one of the properties I was buying. Right? They listed it for 6.6 million. And I remember telling my agent, I said, negotiate 4.5. She shouted, this is America, this is not Nigeria. You don't negotiate like this, Dr. Steven. They will just, I said, hey, I'm the one buying. Right? And I knew the time I entered the market. There's blood on the street. How many people are buying $6 million land? Right? So, I said, offer. And she was shocked. The guy returned the offer and said, pay $6 million. If she was on, I said, oh, I think you can go low. I think you can go low. And we eventually, signed at 5.5 million. Right? If the interest rate was low, man, that would not happen. It would have been beating war. The park will even sell it for 7 because it already has a horizontal permit and it's a good location. Are we learning here?
Yes, sir.
So the best time to invest is the worst time in the economy. And the best time to sell is when the economy is good. Then you prepare for the next worst time. So you cannot save your money. Right? How many of you believe that January things are tight? Anybody like that? Raise your hand now. I want you suddenly scared. Thank you for your honesty, Jared. Yeah? The idea is changing. But the same, and it's global. Things are tough in January globally because everybody's wasted so much money in December. Right? If you're living in America, it starts from November, Thanksgiving. People spend so much for Thanksgiving. Then it extends to December, they buy gifts, they buy this, they buy that. By January, you're behind on all your bills. Am I making sense at all? Yeah. But are you aware that those things are also a function of mindset? I cut down from December. December is the period I spend less. And I get ready for January. And I make bullish moves. For our company, for the first time, right now, we've paid for more than 20 billboards in Lagos and Abuja. January. Udogo is here. So December, we save up. Then January, where everybody is trying to, be conservative.
Launch out.
Pull out. Big boy moves. Are we learning? So always go the opposite direction when it comes to investment. When people are buying, so if you want to do Bitcoin, do it quickly. Quickly. You should have done it long ago. But if you want to do it fast, if you want to do real estate, do it quickly. There's probably going to be a new president. His head will be more correct. And not just fine boy, fine English. You know what I'm talking about. I didn't mention anybody's name. Okay. Politically correctness. Just do the job. Right? And I see a lot of growth. So I have position. I believe the economy will pick up 2026. Right? 2026, I believe it will pick up. Big time. Big time. So at this year too, I'm acquiring more lands. Right? 2026, building heavily. And then selling houses. At that point, interest rate is low. Everybody wants to buy a house from me. Your humble servant is here. Yeah. Are we learning at all? Yeah. So you see that this thing requires a lot of understanding. Who agrees with me? Right? It's not just by luck, things just work. There's a lot of formula to it, and that's why you need to read the book. Am I making sense at all? I'm not telling you I'm not a realtor. This is not about being a realtor. Remember where we started this conversation from? This is about building wealth as a people. Building wealth as a people. Building wealth among people of color. And that's the movement I'm into. It's a movement to encourage people of color to build wealth. Enough of wealth that ends, even when some build wealth, it ends with their generation. It must be transgenerational. Are we together now? We must involve our children. They must see what we're doing. They must watch us do things. Great things, guys. We must invest. And the only way to pass on wealth to the next generation is not cash, ladies and gentlemen. It is what? Real estate. It's real estate.
Please put your hands together, please.
Thank you. I remember meeting a very elderly man. I'll never forget that experience. He told me, "Look, see, I live a property. I want it in Ikoyi." I said, Baba, this is over 80-year-old. I said, Baba, but why? He said, if I drop money for my children, they will spend it. I want it to be a house. So that they will fight before they can receive to sell. Because one child will say, no, let's keep it. It's Baba's legacy. You know what I'm talking about? Yes. The other said, I want to keep, I don't want to drop cash for my children. Right? I want to buy the right house in the right location. If they like, they can be taking the rental income, but I want the house to remain. And it's the truth. There's a lot of sentimental attachment to real estate. I hope you know what I'm talking about. So if you really are serious about living well for your children, it's in real estate. Okay, chapter 4. We talked about real estate investment strategy. Here we talk about buy to hold, fix and flip, wholesaling, house hacking, real estate syndication. Under real estate syndication is when you learn about raising funds. I see people tell me, oh, Dr. Stephen, the problem is that to raise the capital. I said, that's not the problem. That's never been the problem. Because are you aware, as we are seated here, we have minimum $1 million for real estate among all of us here. Some of you here now, if you check the pamphlet they gave you, we are doing a $200 million investment in US. Some of you can easily put down 50K into this. Some can do 100. Some can do 20. Some can do 10. Some can do 5. Though we don't have 5. But who knows why we don't have 5? Because too many people can. I want people to afford. That's not the issue. Is that may you not have poor people as customers. Another word, may you not have the problem of poor people. I hope you know what I'm talking about. I'll give you an example. All my clients have done $1 million with me. I don't even know them. And many of them, they don't even want me to know them. And if I really want to piss them off, I should go and tell anybody that Mr. Jide Orimo Bunje invested $1 million with us. They don't want nobody to know. But guess what? Those who do $10,000. I said, you know Stephen Akintayo? I said, oh, I know him now. I did some investment with him. And I just said I should support him. And I just help him, you know. He's a gentleman, you know, do all this real estate. We need to support our own, don't be so. Because it's a thing of pride for him. I don't know why. He wants to use you to brag. I remember someone was telling me something. This person said he works in share, he said he invested with I remember I had to call back. There's no investor like with that name. Meanwhile, he has used it to brag. He has used it to brag. I put some money with him, you know, we just help the guy. So I learned early that if you don't want your name to be spoiled, even the little we've done, we still know people dragging here and there. That when you are serving wealthier people, are we together now? Even when you have issues, they quietly take you to court. Court will resolve the issue, and everybody goes on. Right? But if you service lower end customers, what happens? They won't even go to court. They go on social media. So person, and then make the whole thing look like there's some crime, it's a scammer. You don't even know the meaning of the word scam. Good boy. If I truly have the product, it's not a scam. I don't write, you put your money in my, it's not a scam. Business go bad. Right? Then be careful about him. And then some people unfortunately enjoy those things. And we need to change that, because if we don't change that, we all here will not build wealth. And we need each other to build wealth. I hope you know what I'm talking about. We need each other. Some of you will tell me, I couldn't raise capital for my business, but you have 10 friends in Canada. And you couldn't go and meet the 10. I said, yeah, each of you, 10,000. Let's buy the first property. Right? You say you attend the church. What's making that noise? Is it in the mic?
Maybe people go higher.
Because it's higher? One is affecting the other. Are we together now? So, the money is there. It's called syndication. That's what the Indians use. That's what the Jews use. They come together. And that's part of what I'm here to encourage us for. Any relationship that will not do business with you, cut them off. Cut them off. You say we are friends, but the day I say I'm trying to do a business, can you invest with me? That's the day rumors start going around to say I'm a scammer. Then why are you keeping such friendship? Why? Why? And I will learn it here. It's a new year. Relationship is not by force. Not by force. I hope some of you know those people. They know you are selling something, they will not patronize you. They go and patronize somebody else. Who knows what I'm talking about? And then you say you are friends. What kind of friendship is that? Okay? It's time to come together and work together. Do we agree? Because this money we think does not exist. How do the Jews do it? They came to this country worse than we are. They were fleeing war. Who knows what I'm talking about? They've been stripped of everything. And today, they run the economy of America. And most of us came to America, to North America, to Canada, educated. In better situation. Many of us sold everything we had. We brought wealth here. Come on, talk to me. We brought wealth here. And rather than come together and say, we have 10 of us, let's start something. Wealth now. Wealth. Let's do something. Let's get a mentor. I may not be able to do it alone, but can we come as a group? And we get a coach. And I'm not talking about coach by mouth. Who knows what I'm talking about? Most of you have. Which is another frustrating thing I have. How many of us are the so-called advisors? Huh? I hope you know that those who don't know are the ones who are quick to give free advice. Unsolicited one. Be careful about it. Be careful. As I did, their mouth is sweet. They will scam you. You that you have not been scammed, where are you? Have you ever asked those questions to these your nice advisors? Some of us don't ask the right question. Because you have always been careful, right? You did not give anybody your money so that they don't scam you. But how wealthy are you? One of my friends talked about years ago, he had this mentor. He's a white guy. Carries bag for him. They go for trainings. They fly together all over the world. So his friends will start laughing at him. Say, wow, see how the Igbo man is using you. Practically a slave to this white guy. So one day he got so upset and said to them, so let me agree, I'm a slave and I'm being used. But I'm used, I enter plane, we travel to the UK, to Middle East. Sometimes I carry his bag into even private jets. So you that you have not been used to, where have you gone? And he came up with a word I'll never forget. He said, you have to be used to be useful.
Yes. Yes.
You have to be used to be useful. Right? So our mind needs to change. If we're thinking of building wealth, let's come together. Syndication is the way. I've met one of our, my partner and I, have this guy in the UK. He's a major investor. When we have any real estate deal, he's still has to give us the cash. He's a Jewish guy. So one day he told me, he said, I give you guys this money, you are your friend and all of that. But why have you not brought me your Nigerian guys to come and invest? And that leads me to number 2 reason why syndication fail amongst us. I said, okay, I can, I know you're famous, you have these millions of Africans following you, let them come and invest with me. So I said, so how much will you give them? So I'll give them 0.8% every month. I laughed. I said, no Nigerian will accept that. He said, I said, why? He said, anything outside of that is a Ponzi scheme. I said, I know. But is that Ponzi scheme Nigerians like? Right? They want higher returns. They want higher returns. We're not always realistic. Right? I've turned down millions of dollars because people tell me, I need 25%. I said, I can't give you that. And except you won't turn me to a Ponzi scheme. Say, I know how I get it. I said, continue where you're getting it. Why did you even come to me in the first place? If there's a way you can get it, you don't need to come to me in the first place. Right? But have a reputation to protect. I need an investment that the returns is realistic. And worst case, maybe we have delay a month or 2 before we pay your money, but we will eventually pay. That's better than a situation where I promise you this kind of money and you will never see both capital and even the returns. I don't know if you have been through such. And it's because we are not realistic with the returns we are asking. Right? Are you aware that when you are setting together a syndication, for some of you who want to do that, please always put the amount that even if there is a crisis, you will still be able to pay. Even if the economy suddenly turns down, you will still be able to pay returns to your investors. Are we learning at all? It's better to go that way and build a good reputation than to be promising people returns that is heavily unrealistic. So, can we see the money now? How many of you can see the money? The church you attend, you can bring people together and raise capital. Right? The mosque you attend, the school you attend, the communities you belong to, Association of Igbo people, Yoruba people, the Niger Delta, let it be meaningful. Even if they don't want it to be meaningful, you insist and say, hey guys, I want this community, right, for us to build black wealth. I want us to come together. And I believe it's going to happen. Will it happen? Yes. I hope the next time I come back here, I will hear stories that you guys have started. Yes. Right? Even if you guys are not the one that will do the first project, there's nothing wrong with coming together and raising $100,000 and say, Dr. Stephen, we want to invest in your project. We're a team of 10 people. right? Because now you heard me say, oh, we don't do certain amounts. You can come together as a team and use that to now say, but will you mentor us? So that over time you can now learn how to do it yourself. And at some point, the money now goes into your own project. Am I making sense at all? And that's how it's done. Many of the things I've done in my life, I first look for somebody doing it because I don't want to lose. When I was to start this project I'm doing in the US, I went to meet Grant Cardone. I invested over $250,000, learning from the guy. Yes, you heard me, $250,000 more time man. It wasn't investment for returns, investment to learn. To learn. So people wonder, and I've seen people say to me, Dr. Stephen, what I admire about what you're doing is not even whether you will succeed or not. The audacity to attempt a $200 million at a go. I admire it. And I said, well, somebody gave me that audacity. A step of a giant is a marathon for a dwarf. Get giants in your life and you start moving faster. You need to have people who are bigger inspire you. Because for me, $200 million compared to $8 billion Grant Cardone is doing. We can do it. You see how you are going to start? Because you will start benchmarking against your what? Your mentor. Am I making sense at all? And not benchmark with doubters. Benchmark with people that will tell you, oh, they've scammed me, oh, they are thieves. I lost 200 million Nigerian naira. My real estate business, I think around 2008, cumulatively, it started from 2016. And I remember saying to myself, I said, I will not tell any mortal man about this loss. Who can guess why I did it? Yeah?
So that you won't discourage them.
No. So that they won't discourage me. They will start a pity party.
Yeah.
I hope you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
They will start a pity party and say, you see, this is why me too, I'm not investing. I've always known it, that this thing is risky. This is how you lose money. As though they are better. And they're not better than me that lost 200 million. And I said to myself, the only time I'll share this story is when I've bounced back. And I've built a multi-billion-naira real estate business. I only started sharing this in, I think, 2020. After we now had controlled billions of naira in real estate assets. And it was now a testimony to share. But if I had started telling people, I would have quit real estate, but they would tell me categorically. In fact, the next time I take a picture beside any land, they will start messaging me. I say, you've not learned your lesson, right? You started again. Right? Even if I wasn't trying to buy the property, they would just, and in the name of they care for you, in the name of they like you. Last Saturday I was doing my book signing in the office in Houston, and a lady came to me and said, Dr. Stephen, this year I vowed that whatever you say I'm going to do. So what happened? He said, I knew you way back. Remember you started selling some of your lands in Nigeria. One of it was going for 1.5 million. I had the money, I was ready to buy, and then I called my sister in Nigeria and said, hey, scammers, don't try it. So I watched the property move from 1.5 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 8 million to now over 30 million, and I can't even afford the 30 million. So now I've learned my lesson in a hard way. That many of these advice are not necessarily good advice. They meant well. I hope you know many of them meant well. They are not trying to be unreasonable. They meant well. And that's why even as a couple, are you aware it's not everything that happened to you that you should tell your spouse? Yes. Particularly your relationship with people that you care about. That's got family members. Who knows what I'm talking about? Yeah, sure. You borrowed your brother money and did not return it, and you tell your wife. You know what I'm talking about. Married people, raise your hand and see. So you know. In fact, the next time the guy is coming to the house, your wife will lock the door. That's how he came to last time. And genuinely so, isn't it?
Yeah.
Genuinely so. Oftentimes, I tell people, my gatekeepers, my sister and my wife, each time people come around me, they're already analyzing this one. He wants to use you. He's after your money. How do you people say, no, I know them. He's after something. He's after something. Okay, have you gotten value today? Are you excited? Okay. Put your hands together. Okay. So, I could go on and on with this book, but I'm going to stop with chapter 5, Secret to Building Massive Wealth in Land Banking. So we talked about introduction to land banking, how you can start land banking, scouting major metropolis, using Google Map and trends, and we went about. I built my wealth, like I told you, through land banking, and I keep telling people, the real wealth is not in the building, it's in the land. I hope you know. Right? This hotel now, the biggest asset in this hotel is not this building, it's the land. Because over time, this location continues to become what? Appreciates. And then what happened to the building? It depreciates. So over time, all of this begin to fade, they need to change it, they need to renovate, all of that. So what really appreciates when it comes to real estate is what? Is the land. So even for me, when I'm even buying a building, I'm more particular about how many land is left outside of the building. I always like buying lands that, buildings that has enough land so that I can start phase 2, phase 3 of my project on those land. Just go get permits. Office in Houston, that's why I bought it, right? It was 1.6 million, but the reason is because of there's a bigger land in front of it, so it came with the land. So my goal is to build a 6-story office tower in the next 5 years, right? And that's really where I see the profit. Because I'll just once I get the permit, I get a bridging loan, and then I can build a 6-story. And by the time I'm done with the building, then we refinance both the old office and the what? And the new office. And I will get no less than 3 million pure profit. Cash. From an initial investment of 1.6. Which I didn't even have to put the entire 1.6. We're learning that. Right? So it's very important to know if you're serious about building wealth in the real estate sector, think land. Right? Be very, very strategic about the land. Have you gotten value today?
Yes.
Are we sure?
Yes.
So, for those of you you can clap if you want to clap. Don't be average. Be a leader. So if you feel like clapping, go ahead and clap well.
Please, let's celebrate him.
All right. Go ahead and clap well.
There's something called law of celebration. Whatever you celebrate, you attract into your life. So please, let's celebrate him better.
Thank you. And he's already talking about the book, Billionaire Habit. I'll just talk briefly about it, and then I'll give you an opportunity. If you want to buy the book, you just go to the back. I'm going to be signing for you, and we'll take questions as well. The Billionaire Habit, what you just said is in the Billionaire Habit. You see, whatever you pay attention to multiply. People don't know why. My wife always joke with me and say, it's not sweet gossiping with you. I'm a boring gossiper. Right? Because after you are telling me the gist, before you know, I'll just say, but none of us is perfect. Oh, you spoiled the gist. Right? Because and honestly, I realized that whatever you pay attention to magnifies. So, one of the powerful things he's talking about is the law of gratitude. Are you aware that many of us have not attracted wealthy friends because we are not grateful? My wife met one of the richest oil guy, arguably one of the richest.
Okay, they were at the embassy, the UK embassy, to submit, talking about the law of appreciation, respect, honor, and I talked about it in the Billionaire Habit, honor. How honor is the one principal secret to attracting and retaining powerful relationships in your life. And let me tell you the truth. Hard work will earn you a living. Smart work will make you comfortable. But only network makes you wealthy. Only. I don't care. You see, one of the reasons why people of color are not rich is not because you do not touch money. It's that the point money came to you and everybody else was poor. And it's a matter of time, the money dissipated. You know what I'm talking about? But if you have had wealthy people around you, as the money came, it was growing. Because you will now have capital to help those wealthy people execute some of their projects, and they will pay you more. Yeah. But what happened? You have some little money, your uncle has called you, your niece has called you, your cousin has called you, your nephew has called you, and then you say, you know, and it's called black tax. And those money didn't go into assets. You know, it's a different thing if, like the Jews, the call is to say, give me some money, want to start a business, isn't it? I'm giving you some equity. That's how they do it. The Indians, the Pakistanis, the Jews, that's how they do it. But in our place, is that I want to name my child. I'm doing wedding. I want to bury. Are you aware some of the most ridiculous experiences I've had is customers who bought land from our company in Nigeria writing me straightly, and I think now I probably will just give my new number to my PA. No more. I just see people write me and say, I just lost my father last week. So my sympathies. I said, hey, the land I bought from you in Abuja, can you just give me the money now? I want to use it to bury my father. I'm like, I don't understand. What way? I mean, sometimes it's strange. I don't know whether I'm the one that has the problem or it's them. The land, we even send you the document. You have the document. So, am I a bank? Do you think I store money somewhere, waiting for the day your father died and then just give it back to you? I don't get it. And it makes so much sense with our people that you are selling assets for a burial. For somebody that is not dead, though, and then the only asset you, a living person, has is to sell it, to go and show off in your village that you have arrived. We have to change it. Do you agree?
Yes.
We have to change it. These are wrong mindset. And I don't care what culture. Some of them will tell me it's because you are Yoruba. It's not about the culture. It's not about the culture. There are certain things that are not helpful. Dr. Cosmo always tells me, they always tell me this, I'm stingy. I don't care. I know I'm helping people. If you come to me, he said, I've raised minimum 50 billionaires in Nigeria. That was the one that gave them, because they asked for money for business, not money for burial. And that's an Igbo man. So don't tell me, and that's somebody who should have more shame. Who knows what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I mean, he's not just, he's rich and they know he has the money. But he doesn't indulge in all those things. So I tell them, if you have real business, and I'm sure the money is going to real business, right? After all, he gave, if I buy $300 million, I prove that from the bank. So I can support that. But to waste money in the name of you want to show off, no, count me out. And they all say, customer is stingy, customer is stingy. That's your business. It's your opinion, you're entitled to it. But I know I've helped people. Are we learning here? Yes, sir. Please,
I hope we will take seriously what we are learning today. Are we going to take it seriously? Honor, honor, honor. Do you know one of the things I realized between rich and poor? The rich honors. The poor dishonor. The poor will do anything because of money, including insulting you, including burning bridges for money. The rich will rather let the money go and keep his cool. I'm telling you the honest truth. Even if you do anything, he will take you to court. It's between his lawyer and your lawyer and all of that. But he will not start dancing in the circus for money. I hope you know what I'm talking about. And we must understand that that is the language of the wealthy. I have built powerful relationships in my life by leveraging on this word honor. Right. I was told of somebody wanted me to come, tour his investment here in Canada, power of honor. And I charge $30,000 for those kind of things, even to speak. Do I make exceptions? Yes, I do. Why? Why do I make exceptions? Honor. When I say honor. Because the connection you are saying is also to honor the person that I really know. I don't know that you get my honor. So somebody I know come and say, please, I need to do something for this person. I'm honoring that person. And then he's now benefiting, isn't it?
That's right.
So I remember saying, I said, was the person part of the volunteer team? They said no. I said, okay, tell the person to join. You guys, the team of volunteers, they came to pick me up from the airport. I said, tell him to join me from at the airport. You can join you guys coming to welcome me. In my mind, we can discuss it in the car. If I'm impressed, once I check into my hotel and settle down, I'll go and see what he's doing. Right? But him coming to welcome me, he has demonstrated honor. And it's worth me losing 20,000 grand. And I sow back the honor. Am I making sense to talk? Yes. Only to be asking them. And in fact, I think he was even the only person I asked for. Where is this person? No, he said he's in the office and you should come and meet him. I said, that's dishonorable. I use my money, I book my flight, paid for my hotel, paid for venue, to come and add value to people in Canada. And you want to make that fame I have to push your business or to see whether there's partnership we can have, and you don't think you should honor me. You see why we get poorer? Honor. Meanwhile, somebody else hosted me for a podcast. I didn't say that. Because he honored by showing up for a volunteer meeting. Are we learning at all? And these are things rich people are looking for. They will test you. So don't tell me, we're talking about billionaire habits, isn't it? Yes. You must read these books. Please don't just buy it. Because you're not helping me pay. All the books I brought is not up to what I spent to be here. So is this not we're trying to say, read it. So that you can change your mindset. I can bet you that man didn't do it intentionally. It's just the way he saw it. Right? But I can assure you, you want the wealthy to respect you, honor them. How did I make Grand Cado? For the first time, I flew all the way from Nigeria. It cost me money. Went for his 2-day training. I paid money. It cost me over $10,000. I thought he was the one that would speak. Only to get there, he was not even among the speakers. So the second day, I came out to get some fresh air, and then saw him in his G-Wagon, but he was making call. And then he had a bodyguard, just like he was standing there. So I walked in the middle, saw him here, and the bodyguard was there. And I walked up to the bodyguard and said, I'd like to say hello to Uncle G. Right? I didn't say Grand Cado. You think white people don't like respect? That's how I say hello to Uncle G. He said, oh, okay, he's on a call when you're done. And I could see that he was seeing me talking to the guy. When he's done, maybe you can come. I said, okay. So the reception was just that way. I said, okay, let me get some time to the reception. As I entered the reception, because the window you could see outside, I saw another African-American couple. They didn't bother go meet the security guy. They did like they were just passing because it was a road. As soon as they passed the security guy, you know he was there. They said, Akintayo, what on their phone? And the guy was still on call. No, reluctantly just out of 2 pictures. So when I came out again, before they were done, I came out, I still went straight to that security guy. He said, I like to say, so once they are done, you can approach. And then when they were done, I approached. I said, my name is like I came all the way from Nigeria. He opened his car, came down, took his phone, gave it to his vice president, and said, take our picture. You see the difference? He remained in the car for those other people. Just to manage the right. But imagine, I didn't even he used his own phone and forwarded it to me. That's how the relationship started. Honor. That little thing as understanding. Am I making sense with all that? That is a protocol here. There's a reason there's a security guy.
That's right.
And the guy is on a call. Right? Show some respect. And we trivialize these things, but they matter. I realized that I got richer the more I started honoring people. The more I learned to treat people better, talk better, respect better, right? Talk in a courteous way. Of course, as you know also, nobody also has monopoly of rudeness. I hope you know. Because some people take it for granted. Because you are now respectful, you talk in the right, they think, you know, some of you follow me on social media, you have seen me give savage reply. I have monopoly. Humility is what? Power under control. You can do otherwise. I tell people I don't trust that you are humble until you are rich. Yeah, you know, you can't finance madness. Wives, are you listening to me? Don't believe your husband will marry second wife until he has money. I'm telling you the truth. Right? You know a person's true character, and vice versa. Then my wife is humble. I normally joke with my wife. I said, babe, when you're a millionaire in dollars, I believe this your humility is real. You have a very, very humble woman. My wife is so humble. Like she enters here, she'll be the one using camera, taking you, not believe she's not. Right? But humorously, I always tell her, I say, you know, once you become a millionaire in dollars, I believe this is your humility. At this point, I'm still looking at this humility, whether it's real or not. Because it's easy to be humble when you're poor.
Yes, sir.
I hope you know what I'm talking about. It's easy. Because money is a magnifier.
Yeah.
Right? Poverty suppresses. Ah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Poverty suppresses. Right? It suppresses. Why a lot of people in the Western world faithful to their wives, rich ones, they don't want to lose half of their money. You just say, oh, now, you know, they will even tell you, sometimes they joke about it. I don't want to lose half of my money. So, you know, I obey my dad. Are we learning here? So, let's learn the power of what? Honor. So, the 7, as you know, I give you an assignment for 7 people who are 20 times richer than you, who are based in Toronto. You want to be friends with them. What is the secret to access them? Honor them.
Honor.
Send them a gift. Do a letter. Detail how much respect you have for them. Right? Detail how much respect you have. Detail how you study who they are, what they do. Right? And you appreciate an opportunity to learn from them. And that this is a token of appreciation with the gift you are sending to them. We learning here?
Yes.
They don't need it. I hope you know.
Yes.
But you see, it just tells them you are different. Because what the cross most rich people carry is that everybody wants something from them. Everybody wants to extort them. Everybody wants to ask. Everybody wants to get. Everybody wants to use them. Right? A guy used me recently and I almost felt like crying. True story. So in Nigeria, again, because of my visibility, I realized I go do a talk with my mentees. They sell out their properties. Right? So this guy, subscribed for my mentorship. Then I went to one of his sites. There was so much pressure to go. Then I went. And then the place was so far, we had to spend the whole day. And I remember when we were doing the one-on-one session, I said, he's struggling to sell the land. So I said, okay, if I like it, I'll buy maybe 5 to 10 hectares. And we agreed I was going to buy. As soon as I went to the site, of course, I trained his staff as well. They all started posting my picture, I visited their site. The last I said, before I knew it, he stopped picking my call. I felt so bad. Even if because of my visit you now sold out, it doesn't mean
destroy the relationship.
Don't use people and dump them. People will give you that feeling of I've used you, I'm not sure I need you again. And unfortunately he will still need me.
Yes. Oh yeah.
He will. He will. Right? He will. So don't use people. Am I making sense at all?
Yeah.
Don't use people. Some of us even do that. When people are going through tough time, you don't even reach out to them. You just move on and just dodge. That's the time you don't even want to take a picture of them. So that nobody will say you are moving with someone who is going through tough. Come on. Me, it's that tough time that I want to be there. To show you that you will rise again. I still had a session with a young man over an hour. And I told him, I said, I don't know you. It's because of your pastor. I'm having this conversation with you. I said, your Instagram that you block because you lost how much? 89 million. Go and unlock your Instagram. How do you bounce back if you are not visible? How? Right? We make mistakes. We lose money in business. But rise up again. I said, get back. Whatever idea you want to use to start back your business, let me know. But you are getting back up. Oh, he was almost in tears. I said, thank you. But that's what we do to our people. They are running through challenges. Everybody, I don't know him. I only saw him once. I've had some experiences that were fake news that went viral, and I'll be reading comments and say, thank God it's fake news. Yeah. If this thing were to be real, see people who can't wait for me to fall. And you would see them with understanding. I knew it was going to fail. Well, I knew the guy, there's something about that Stephen Akintayo. I knew. And I love reading those. I would just be laughing. Say, see, man is no God. Somebody say, pretend once in a while like you fall in love. And see who try to use it.
Yes, sir.
Don't assume everybody cares. Don't assume everybody loves you. Once in a while. In fact, some people used to do, they would spread fake news that they died just to see. Right. As you rise, you need to test people.
Yeah.
Test before you trust.
Yes.
Test before you trust.
Yes.
Don't just be, oh no, I'm humble. And then anybody. Not anybody. Food that are meant for children, we don't give dogs.
Yes.
Jesus said it.
Yes.
And you can't be holier than him.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I'm quoting him. Food for children, don't give it to what? Dogs. Until people prove that they are children. You don't just give everything. No. Test. So that's one of the things we share in this book. How do you retain relationship with successful people? How do you attract wisdom in any nation, anywhere in the world? I don't care how rich people are. If you read this book and practice it, the richest person in Canada will be your friend in the next few years. Mark my word. I've practiced it. These are not. People are used to chase me now. Call me now. Using the principles in this book. Are we together? Yes. The last one that we take pictures, I signed and we take questions, right? Is multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income. Nobody becomes wealthy with one source. Nobody. I don't care who you are, if you like work with Microsoft, work with Tesla, nobody. If I tell you how many businesses Bill Gates has, you have no idea. Bill Gates. So to think Bill Gates rely on just Microsoft, you are joking. Even though Microsoft is a multi-billion corporation. Are we learning at all? So to rely on, I don't even care if you have a successful business. You must still look for multiple streams. Anything can happen. Some people were doing so well before COVID, and COVID wiped them out. True of us. Big businesses. Some restaurants never opened and they were the best. Right? So you must have multiple streams. Remember, I did not say multiple businesses. So don't get it twisted. Multiple streams of income. This is where we miss it. Because we then spread ourselves too thin. I'm selling food, I'm selling hair, I'm selling, which one?
Selling bags.
I'm selling bags, I'm also
into
transportation, I'm also into healthcare. No. Right? You can have one business, but multiple what? Streams of income. Multiple streams. What do we mean by streams? We mean passive income. What is a passive income?
The money that works for you.
The money that works for you.
The money that works for you. Thank you. You must be thinking of multiple sources of money working for you. Now, the only way to do this, first of all, cure your greed level. To think that you will do investment in dollars and all the investments must give you 20% annual returns, 50% annual returns, means you yourself is a scammer. There are 3 levels to investment, and you must do business across the 3. There is what? High risk. This one is like gambling. Right? Crypto is one of them. Forex is one of them. All these hedge funds, all of that. If you are trading shares and all of that, and you are trading, active trader, you are here. High risk. Now, am I asking you not to do that? No. Do it. But only put 30% of your income, or your investment money into this. Only 30%. Only what? 30%. Tell your neighbor, only 30%. Real word now, real word. Only 30%. That should be put here. Are we learning at all? Only 30%. And the second rule to high risk, once you make money from this, don't say it will continue to go up. Pull out 50% of your profit and put it into the next phase. Mid risk and low risk. So you spread them. You can put 25 here, 25 here. Are we learning at all? Yeah. So I decided to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or any coin, and it didn't move. I put in $5,000, right? And it moved to what? $10,000. What should I do? You move 2,500. Am I making sense at all? And then the 7,500 increase again to what?
To 10.
To, let's even say 15,000, because it's high risk, so it keeps going high. Isn't it? What is my profit there now? 10. So I remove another one, 5,000. I have another 10. I reinvest it. The 10 can go to 20. Are we learning at all?
Yes.
I remove another 7.5. What will happen over time is that even if the entire thing crash, what I will have pulled out that I put into this and this will probably be more than 100%. But the greed is usually, as the things start high, not only do you empty your account, empty all your, you borrow your friend's money. I say, I've figured out how we will blow, how we will hammer. And it's at that point you got everybody to give you their money, the entire thing. Who has been there? Someone is speaking from experience. I think I have enough people who have such experience here. We're learning, huh? So, very powerful principle. Very powerful principle. Only a fraction of 30% should go into high risk. So, you then have 35% here, and what? 35% here. And you almost do it. So you carry around 35%, you put into mid, another 35% you put into low risk. If you live this kind of principle and lifestyle, in the next 10 years, you're a multi-millionaire, guaranteed. I don't care where you're starting from today. But it's the rule. All your investment money must be divided into 3. I know somebody will say, but how about me that I don't even have any money at all to invest? Then you have a problem that is called mismanagement. You're currently mismanaging your life. How do I mean? You are biting more than you can chew. Are you aware? My first son, the day he was to resume school, the money I had is either I pay his school fees or I pay my staff salary. And I decided to pay the staff salary. Because if I don't pay the staff salary, the company shut down. Where will I get money to pay the next school fees? So my son stayed at home. Our neighbors will be asking my wife, what happens? We need him to grow more. You know, in our days, you have to touch. You have to touch your hair like this. Can I be honest with you? More people buy what they don't need to impress people that don't care. Today, there is no school in the world, no matter how expensive, that I can't afford. My children attend the most expensive school today. It's a phase. Are we learning at all? So the only reason you are telling me I don't have any money for investment at all, there are some things you are doing. Maybe you can manage one car for now. Maybe you can rent the house for now. It's not compulsory you should do mortgage for now. And it does not mean the same you will not buy 3.3 acre house like I'm doing. I used to owe my landlady rent, and every morning she will sing, those kind of songs. But today, see what the Lord has done. Life is in phases. Life is in phases. Men are in sizes. Lead your size pattern. I will say it again. The only reason you don't have investment budget is that you mismanage your finances. You mismanage it. Everybody can invest. There are some things you can remove. One of the secrets to this is start writing down what you spend in the last 30 days. Can you write that down? Assignment number 3 or 4. Where everything you spend money on. You buy coffee, $5, write it down. You did this, write it down. Write it down. If you go through your bill, everybody hear this, one house, you see where the losses are. If you analyze, you see that maybe I'm buying too much coffee. Right? Maybe I'm not making sense at all. Too much gas. How many cars do I have? How many insurance am I having to pay? And you'll be able to settle down and say, let's remove this for now. For now. We'll get back to it. But for now, let's remove And I promise you a time will come that you can afford anything. Have you been impacted today?
Yes.
Come on, have you been impacted today?
Yes.
Please, a beautiful round of applause. Let's celebrate a living legend in our midst. Can I hear you say wow?
Wow.
Can you say it backwards? Wow.
Say it backwards.
Yes,
Okay,
sit
so
down.
if you check what we have,
Go on, Daddy.
we gave you some pamphlets just to show you some of what we're doing. So you also know that I'm not asking you to be an investor when I'm not an investor. Right? These are massive projects we're doing. You can invest. You can scan the QR code to be able to read more about the opportunities. You can call the numbers, advertise. I would rather send a WhatsApp message or email. For the US, I put my personal WhatsApp number, I think. Okay. The one that I say WhatsApp on, you can chat me up there. Tell me your full name. That's my rule when you're chatting me up. And go straight to the
Point.
Don't start with how are you? How are your children? How's your wife? You don't know them. Go straight to the name and the reason. And the reason why is not for arrogance. I attend to 1,000 messages average every day.
Wow.
So sometimes it even take me 3 days to get to some people. Right? So go straight to the point. Else, if it's too long, I won't even be able to attend to it. And I'm even thinking of giving it to my PA. It's distracting too much. These messages and everything. So the books, if you're buying one book, it's $35. If you're buying up to 4 books, it's $30. And if you're buying up to 8 books, it's $25. Okay, that's what we're doing. And then feel free, I'm willing to sign it for you. If you look at the lady at the back, wave your hands to talk to her. She's ready to sell for you. Okay. Any question? I'm ready for your questions.
Question time is what? Answer time. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Territorians, please let's give it up for Dr. Stephen Akintayo. This is the best place to ask questions. Please, when you come to the gathering of eagles, okay? You know there's a saying, they say when the storm begins to swell up, what happens? The eagles become excited. This is the best place that you can ask questions and get the knowledge that can begin to fast track your life in the direction you want it. This is January. We're in January, like I was saying to somebody, his coming is actually divine. Can I get a witness, somebody? Please let's give it up for me. So this is the best place to ask questions. Don't leave this place and go and ask questions. Somebody that did not come here. The blind cannot leave the blind. There's something in life, there's something called crab effect. If you want to catch crabs, once you put your basket, if you catch the first crab, put it inside. Guess what? You don't need to cover it again. Just quickly catch another crab and put in. Catch it. It's called crab effect. You know what happens? When one person wants to climb out, the other crab will do what? Pull it down. It's called crab effect. And it happens in life. Please, this is the best place to ask your questions where you will receive the right information. So who is ready to go first? All right.
Let's count all of them so that another person's question doesn't trigger.
Wow.
So raise your hand so we'll give you numbers.
Okay. Let's. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, 11. All right. 12. Okay. So 13. 14. Okay. All right. So number 1.
I should say 15.
15. Good.
But if somebody else asks your question, don't bother ask again, right?
Yeah.
So we can leave on time.
Good morning, TSA.
Good morning.
Everybody. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us in Canada. I've followed you for quite some time, and I'm one of your ghost mentees. And I must say it's been such an amazing time, hearing you speak and seeing how productive you are. So I'm going to ask a question and chip in something as regards the multiple sources of income you talked about. So my question is, for somebody who is highly productive, like you or as you are, how do you manage your time and how do you balance family with it? How do you make sure your input to the family is still what's supposed to be? And manage all of these amazing things God is using you to do. And that's the question. The second thing I want to impute is, in the Bible, when you talked about multiple sources of income and when you talked about 7 years of famine in the Bible, 7 years of plenty. Just to chip in that one other strategy is having seven streams of income. Right? So the strategy for tackling 7 years of famine after 7 years of abundance is having 7 streams of income. Just to chip into what TSC has said. So thank you so much, everyone.
Welcome. Okay, let's take the second one so we can take maybe 3 hands and we'll take 3.
Good afternoon, everyone. So thank you so much, sir, for the talk. So it was an excellent teaching. So my question is about someone who wants to buy a house here in Canada. So many people buy a house to live in. And you said that maybe if they're just starting out, they should be looking for an investment. So what's a good investment for someone here who wants to buy a house? Should they buy one that they'll be living in but also renting out, maybe renting out the basement? And then that rental income will be used for their mortgage payments. Would that be one of the best ways to buy a house here? Thank you.
Thank you. That was a nice question. We'll take number 3.
I'm happy I'm here. I got to know him very recently when he employed one of my wards in Nigeria just some few days back. So I started getting some of your. I said, who is this guy? And I said, I must be here.
Who is the person?
Who is the person here?
No, I mean, who is the person that was there?
His name is Oladimeji Dada. So he sent some of your flyers and everything to me that I should get people, and I said, oh, this is incredible. Yes, I consider you have projects in the United States, land banking, and so on and so forth. Canada is like 10 times, USA is 10 times the size of Canada in terms of population. But houses in Canada are very expensive. When you go to places like Niagara, a house of like about 851 million, across the border, that same house is 500. The bay in Canada is, houses are very expensive. To start with deposit and so on and so forth is crazy. That means the problem in Canada is not, it's about the supply. Because there are people that are having less supply. There's less supply of houses in Canada. With your graphs and everything, how can you replicate what you are doing in United States here by having more than enough supply of houses across board so that immigrants in Canada can have access to houses? Maybe community houses or apartments and so on and so forth? Or are you planning to do exactly what you are doing in the United States, in Canada? I hope that is not a...
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll take the 3 questions. So balancing time and family. My argument is, I don't believe there's something as, balance. I believe there's something as what I call
there's a word I use, right? There's a, it's from, I think, adaptation. So what I do more is I adapt my family to what I do. Right? We're together, for example, for Christmas, for New Year. Sometimes I'm going for trainings, we go together. So I just get them involved in what I do. But the concept of I will stop one, right, for the other, I don't think it really works. Because it's the only way for mediocrity. If I work 16 hours a day, you can't meet me when you are doing 8 hours. That's one of the secrets of some of us. I work average of 16 hours a day, right? I sleep average of 4 hours, 30 minutes to 5 hours max a day. Now, somebody that sleeps 8, 9, 10 hours, we can't end in the same place. Do you agree with me? So we must face the reality that we need to figure out a way to involve your family members in what you do. It's even what a lot of the whites do better. Their children get involved in what they are doing early. In little, you go to farm, your kids are with you in farm. So you integrate, I call it integration. So family integration with what you're doing is one of the best ways to carry them along and not feel guilty. The second thing is quality. Like the time you then now have, make it quality. Make the experience something they will forever remember. Right? Go watch movies. Go do activities. I mean, we're together, in NASA, having experiences with them at NASA. Create memories, right, that will last long. But it's not about quantity. When you come to family and balancing all these things, quantity is not equal to quality. It's the quality of time as well as integrating your family members into what you do. I hope it makes sense. The only time I remember that I'll never forget my dad was an experience where we traveled from Maiduguri to Benue to Makurdi. I was probably maybe 7-year-old, but still the only memorable experience I have with my father. And isn't that shocking? And my dad was an available father because his business had crumbled before I was born, so he was always at home. But that he was at home did not equal great memories. I don't know that you get my point. But the experience of traveling with him, all that was what made me, it's still the best memory I can tell you that I have of my biological father. I hope it makes sense. The second question, the answer is yes. I've mentored many people who we intentionally told them to buy single family units that is 2-story or is it 3 floors, right? And the goal is that they live on the first floor, they rent out the second floor, and then rent out the third floor. One of my mentee, what he was able to make, his mortgage is about $4,000, was able to charge $2,500 each. So he still has $1,000 extra, and his 2 tenants pay. Of course, he repartitioned the house. Most of these houses are wooden anyway, right? He repartitioned it, so that is still an asset. Bottom line, as long as the property can generate cash flow, is an asset. However, make sure you're not breaking the law, because some cities have regulations around those things so that you don't end up running into trouble. But yes, that is a good move. Absolutely good move. Even now, my house in the US, my wife realized, and women are more prudent. So you're not always in the US. She got somebody that can be putting on Airbnb when I'm not around. Every house should generate asset. Like they're dropping a new 2025 Rolls Royce for me. When I'm not around, we'll rent out the Rolls Royce. There's no big deal to it. Don't be attached to things. Are we together now? Are you aware that it's people who don't have something that are attached to it the most? Yes, right? Somebody will say a private jet now is jumping up and down. Those who have private jet are not jumping about it. It's normal. True of us. And it's the love of money that is the root of even not money. Are we together now? And do you agree with that? Sometimes what you don't have, you love more. Come on, talk to me. Right? It's what you don't have. Once you have it, it becomes normal. Right? And there's no big deal to it.
May God bless you with wealth.
Amen.
So replication of what we're doing in Canada, in US and Canada, we're open to it, but it's in you people's hands, right? We're open to it. For me, when I do business, I'm always asking, do I have the right people? I've shared when we were talking earlier, right? People are more important than money. You can only scale projects when you have the right people. They are committed, they believe in the cause. Am I making sense with you? And that's what will help. So I'm open to we expanding to Canada in a big way. Okay, but I'm looking at the people I have. Okay, it's ultimately the people. When God wants to bless you, like I said, He will give you the gift of men.
Yes.
Okay, men that matter, quality, loyal, faithful, with depth and with connections. Right, that's the proof God. So as I travel all over the world, I'm looking for the gift of men. Once I notice we have the right set of people, I'm ready to jump in. Because my hands have been burned. Right, many business, I still lost $1,000 in Dubai. Still had very bad experience. And it was traced to the Nigerian I worked with. Okay, so our eyes have seen. Even in the US, just that we don't announce some things until it becomes a testimony. Right? The first loss was almost 100,000. I bought a house, okay, how much you help me furnish it? Paid that $60,000. People came to my house and said, where is the $60,000 furniture? Because I felt it's a multi-million-dollar house. It needed to have an interior that reflected. So give up $60,000 cash. Right? In fact, some people argue that everything there is not up to $20,000. Still a Nigerian that I worked with. So some of us, I tell somebody, I said, you're a thousandaire because you lost thousands. You're a millionaire because you lost millions. You're a billionaire because you lost billions. That's just the honest truth. Never trust any successful man or woman that has not lost money and that does not have scars. Don't trust them. It's fake. It's fake. Are we together now? And these are things we are not teaching. So when you see people go through scars, what do we start doing? As though they are not real. Look at what Pastor Lukoya went through in UK and his name being damaged. But do you notice the ministry started expanding?
Yes.
Or you didn't notice?
Yes.
It's a phase.
Yes.
The bigger you get, the more some people will come after you and they will give you free marketing. You will get bigger and bigger. Only somebody who doesn't understand the flow of growth that will be saying, what's wrong with these people? Why is his name? It's normal. It's this baby. There's no smoke without fire. All those things are low-end talk. Are you aware at the top it's not good and evil anymore? Are you aware? It's no longer good and evil. At the highest level of leadership, it's not good and evil. It's not that easy. Right? It's between good and best. And evil and worse. Those are your choice. So, I'll give you an example. As a boss, the company is going through challenges. You started the company, no be so? You are confronted between downsizing 40%, talk to me, or you keep all the staff and what? The entire company collapse. Which one is good there now? Because 40% of 1,000 employees, still 400 families that will no longer have a source of income. You're still a bad man. There's no rightness there. Particularly for those 400 people. Right? You fired me. I lost my job. No more income. and he says his CEO is empty, and then he's still flying around in private jets, he's all travel all over the world. You know that's how the person is seen. Okay? So it's unfortunate that the higher you rise is no longer good and evil. It's always two bad choices that you always be having, or two good choices. But it's not that easy anymore. So it's low end of leadership. I mean, Jamie is the king of leadership. Am I correct? Let me ask my boss. I am correct. Okay. Please help me celebrate Jamie Pajo. I've known him for
a round of applause, a round of applause, a round of applause.
He's a leadership consultant and all that. He's based in Toronto, so please consult him if you have businesses and you need leadership. Yes.
Number 4.
Thank you so much. I want to say, Dr. Selina, that is a blessing to our generation. I'm one of your mentees as well. I do follow you every time.
The face is familiar.
Yes. And I can
practically say that your lectures, your mentorship can be adopted in any business. I'm a life insurance agent, and I've used all I learned from you to scale my business. So I'm telling you today that what is teaching us can be used for any business. Thank you so much. So my question, I have 2 questions for you, Doctor. My first question is, how do you define success in your entrepreneurship journey? And the second question is, what are your biggest strengths as an entrepreneur, and how do you leverage them? Thank you.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Stephen. I really appreciate the opportunity for you being in Canada. I followed you for years back. In fact, I invested in White House Atom. That was when I was following you into digital marketing and all those things. I really appreciate you because I saw a different breed of an African who is very transparent and share truth for free. That was what really caught my attention. So thank you for being in Canada. I have 2 questions, or 3 if time permits. One, I really connected when you say you lost 200 million, because that's kind of where I am now. So I wanted to know what are the practical steps that made you bounce back, especially from a real estate investment. I also wanted to know what are the opportunities to come under your mentorship. And the last one is, if you have a business idea, how do you go about it? I just heard you saying the right people. But if you know that this can be big, how do you practically go about it to get friends who can help out? Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 6.
Thank you for the opportunity. Well, actually, the 2 questions I have, they've already asked them. He asked one and he asked the other. But I want to say something here. Good morning, sir. Thank you for coming to Canada. I've been following you for a while, and there is this live you did with Dr. Cosmos that actually made me to be attached to you. And I want to tell you that whatever you are doing that is giving you this success story, continue in it. You know, I traveled like an hour to be here. And why I'm here is that I want to check out this man. Whether he's live on internet is the same thing as his live in person. And honestly, everything is the same. Thank you for coming to Canada. Okay, so that you will know my question about coming under your mentorship, and also can you do what you are doing in the US and Canada?
Absolutely.
Once you have the
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the questions. Definition of success for me at this phase is, can I replicate it in others? Right, so I'm at a phase in my life now where I'm more particular about being able to help other people succeed as well. Right, you are not a success until you can see your successors. Right, who are those you've poured into that are doing great? Who are those? Because it's no longer more about money. This money will make it, and we're making it. Right, it's all about how many more people can we point and say, we helped this person and he's here. Right, we touched this person and he's here. And so for me, that is the new definition of mentorship. The only thing is, I want it to count. Like I said, if you pay attention. Right? I want it to matter. I'm realizing that if there are no strong requirements, people, as you become famous, people just enjoy taking pictures with you. Yeah. And they're not ready to follow your path. Works. You understand what I'm talking about? It's just the paparazzi. Oh, I was a doctor still, you know. And that doesn't move me in any way. If you can tell me, I listened to your message and I moved from step A to step B, that gets me excited. Right? Recently, Bishop Wedepo had to use my testimony to preach in church. And the same bishop that people don't have access to called me by himself. I didn't call him, he called me. And then invited me to his house. And then we spoke for 1 hour. Hey! Bishop Wedepo. But that's really what success does. Because he's happy when I share that I've been following for over 20 years, my spiritual mentor. And that you mean what you learned from me help you to be where you are today? Wow, he was there, he said, your testimony will inspire millions all over the world. I want to share how your story will inspire many people. So a phase comes in your life that is what gives you joy. That this person I came, because you have no idea how I hate cold, how I hate the snow, right? Then I carry myself, come to Toronto, Canada. Am I making sense at all? With my money, pay for venue, pay for hall, pay for everything. I'm coming back, I think, a couple of weeks' time. My host is paying for everything. Right? And I charge $20,000 inside the hotel, flight, everything. And they're paying. Right? So if I then do all of that for free, and then 5 years from now, I can't hear people say, that sacrifice is worth it. I am a proof that the sacrifice you made that day was not in vain. So that for me is now the new definition of success. Right, so the next question is the biggest strength as an entrepreneur and how do I leverage it? Different strength. One of them, there are many of my strengths, my superpower. One of them is I'm not scared to fail. Like I said, if I fail and you laugh at me, before you are done mocking me, I will have succeeded. And we'll see who the laugh is on. We see who the laugh is on. I know some people were mocking me when I just started business. Right? If I literally one day tweeted at me that I'm always doing broadcast, disturbing him on, I sent too much email. And he went on Twitter and says, tell Steve Akintayo to stop spamming me every day. And I tweeted back, I said, I have not even started spam. I just acquired some 3 million email database. And I'm about to start heavy marketing. And I remember saying that I said, I am not ashamed of my hustle. This is what pays my bill. Right? I'm not ashamed. Right? I didn't come and steal. I only sent you email. And you don't like my email. Well, let's just say today, the same person is giving testimony of buying a $60,000 car on
on loan. And I'm giving testimony of running a $200 million project.
Take your testimony.
Are we together now? So we all must learn to build resilience. People will talk. People will mock you. People will say anything as you rise to the top. And for many of you, mark my word, you've not heard anything. A day will come, you will read things about me. You say, is it the same man that came to Toronto? It looks like he's a different person. He's normal. The difference is that me, I was cooked up. As I started rising, I was meeting elders. Indeed, someone that is doing the kind of thing I'm doing, what should I expect? But of course, when he came to my house in Houston, he said, get ready. FBI will come after you at some point. So they came after me in 1980. So I got a good lawyer. And I won after 2 years. Yeah, that's why for me, I'm not into all this perception to aspire to acquire. I don't do all of that. Yeah. And some of you like it, some of you, 10 P's to success. It was a P. I tell you as it is. When I want to teach, I show you my scam. Yes, sir. Right? Because that's why we are here. We didn't get here by luck. I may be young, but I've seen. Right? I've seen. I was telling somebody, I said, there are few land we bought in Lagos that they didn't put ritual. We went there and we removed the ritual. Not that I'm no longer hungry, we'll have eaten the egg. Right? So, are we together? So you have to be tough if you're going to go far. So for me, one of my superpowers, I'm not afraid to fail. Right? We missed it somewhere, we go again till we get it. But I know at some point we will what? We'll get it. And that's my new message to our people of color. Let them to take risk. Those of us who are older, encourage your children to take risk. Stop overprotecting them. Anti-fragility. Don't go out. Don't do this. Don't do that. And yet, one day we will not be using our son to mock and say, see your mate, see your mate, see your mate. See your mate. So you were the one that kept caging and be careful, be careful. Let them make their mistakes. Did any child ever walk without falling? No child. So no great entrepreneur ever emerged without failing. None. There's none. So fail forward, move on. The righteous fall. Yeah, 7 times. He rise again. Rise. Move. Till you win. And that's my story, ladies and gentlemen. I kept failing till I won. And I'm still winning. And I'm still failing. And I'm still winning. I'm still failing. I'm still winning. And that, I will leave it at that. There are many other superpowers. Being consistent. Not giving up. Right? These are some of the things that I said. I just don't give up. And I mean, the last one, I'm hungry. Hey, anybody, you're hungry? Right? Somebody was talking, I was so impressed with your age and your success. I said, shut up. How old is Elon Musk? How old is Mark Zuckerberg? Don't give me some fake excitement. I'm not as rich as Mark Zuckerberg. How many more years is he older than I am? You see how we carry things, that the person must have a gray hair like Methuselah before he's successful. These are the problems we have as a people of color. Then you start, a great one. No, we are going far. We are going far. We are just about to start. We will redefine the definition of wealth. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, but we need to be hungry. Not that you have 3 cars in Canada and 2 houses. You will let us rest. Every time in church, you celebrate God. Hallelujah. Just bought 1 new house. Glory to God. You can do more. 100 times more. Come on. 100 times more. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. In this Canada, you can employ 100 people. Yeah. 200 people. Right? And when you talk, they know that black is not synonymous to lack. No. No, it's not. The Indians that are doing, do they have two heads? No. The Chinese that come to Canada and turn things around, they have two heads? No. So what is you and I doing? Some of you are telling me now, are you going to replicate the same thing? How about you? Can't you replicate it? You're already here. Hey. You're already here. Take up the challenge. I now have some mentees in Nigeria. True story. They who announced we need land in a social location. True story. And then they said they will call my team. Nobody will respond. Then as someone will not tell the owner, can I start selling the Dr. Stephen I got the thing for? His staff are not responding. Can I start selling this small? One told me he's on his fourth estate now, under 6 months. He's already done over $1 billion in 6 months. And the initial plan was I'll get this land for Dr. Stephen. But the Dr. Stephen's staff were not responding. Maybe they got another one. And that's how he started his business. I have 2, 3, 4, 5 people like that. And they're doing so well. So some of you are looking at it, it's me that can do it. You too can do it. I don't have 2 heads. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you will fall, you will make mistakes, but you can do it. It's not that difficult. Right? The next is mentorship. Absolutely. I charge for mentorship. Right? There are 2. I recently announced I'm giving 40 people free. So my expensive mentorship is $20,000 for 6 months. So now I'm running a promo for free. I'm giving 40 CEOs. But your business must have done $100,000. So go to my Instagram and search for it. If your business has done up to $100,000 in 12 months, right, you see the process for free. I am giving you mentorship for your business. If you are among the first 40, right, we're taking 10 per region. I think they've exhausted the African region, so we have the North American region. So I'm doing the region where our businesses are. We're in Middle East, we're in Europe, we're in North America, and we're in Africa. Right, so you can apply. But I can assure you, yes, that's the secret. I stopped failing when I started getting mentors. I stopped failing. When I say failing, of course, we lose money and all, but the one that you said you didn't crash, it stopped when I started getting, because they will tell you what to expect. Am I making sense at all? Now, for example, will I have, just like what Dr. Cosmos have told me, will I have FBI coming after me and I'll be scared? When my mentor told me ahead. Is most of you read it in the news like, see, FBI is after, we knew. Right? Which, this is our normal. Right? If you do business at certain volume, are we together now? They want to check. Am I making sense at all? I know there will be normal here and there something suspicious. In his own case, they came after him because he moved a huge amount of money to his wife's account. So he said, go to the airport, maybe in Atlanta or something. The FBI officer said, well, we're investigating for money laundering. Sir, it's my money, I didn't wash it. You didn't go to school. He said, even the FBI agent busted to laughter. I said, no, we didn't say you washed it. Right? Would mean the source of this huge kind of money. At the end of the day, they even begged him to sign that he wasn't going to take them to court. There was an overzealous officer that just flagged those transactions. I'm not making sense at all. Yeah. So, but many of us now, did they hear an African is being investigated by FBI? Your mind is guilty as such. Meanwhile, if you does real volume, they will check it. Right? Somebody will pick interest. Are we learning at all? Yeah. So, but when you have mentors, they have already told you what to expect and even the solution before it comes. So it then looks as if you don't fail anymore. But it's just because you have mentors. Does that make sense at all? Who are already guiding you, say, expect this one will come, expect this challenge can come. And when it comes, this is the step, this is the strategy, this is what I did when I passed this same corner. The other mentorship I have that I encourage all of you to do, if you can't afford the 20,000 one, is this one. Right? The Akintayo coaching today.
So I created a platform called the Akintayo University, and I brought all these people to mentor people there. I'm not very excited about it. Right?
Round of applause. Round of applause.
This platform cost me over $1 million. So let me give you an idea, because you think it's a joke. I brought Grand Canyon twice, and each time was $50,000 for each of the courses he did here. John Maxwell, $35,000. Robert Kiyosaki, $25,000. Should I continue? No. So, you have an opportunity to be part of it, and it's a much cheaper course. And you write an exam, quiz after every course. And once a month, I meet with everyone and we guide. And there are so many programs there: e-commerce business, real estate business, forex, crypto, buying shares. It's a wealth university that gives you a lot of tools. So I encourage everyone to be part of it. I'm even giving right now 2,500 people free access as well, but there's a requirement as well. They make a donation. So I'm starting a food bank in Houston and Nigeria. So you make a donation, you get 3 months access instead of paying $1,000. So you can apply for that. Go to my page on Instagram or Facebook, you will see it. So I hope I've answered the question on mentorship. Right? So, if you lose money, how do you bounce back? I think you need to look for those who have lost bigger money, right? To encourage you. This is the secret. Those are for people bigger. When I was to start our $200 project, $200 million project in the US, I was really scared. It was the biggest single tax one-time project we've ever tried to do. So I went to see President Obasanjo, and I shared the vision with him. I said, look, whatever it takes, do it. Right? The second person I went to see was Dr. Cosmos. And I guess he noticed I was really worried if I could pull it off. So he now started sharing with me. He said, this project is $1 billion. And when it was done, said, this thing is a done deal. Right? Because by the time he shared with me, you understand what I'm saying? What he's doing that is way bigger than mine. Am I making sense at all? I got courage. Are we learning at all? The same way, when you meet somebody who has lost more money and they break down, like I told you, the gentleman I spoke to early this morning, he lost 89 million. In fact, when I was done, he too realized why I was angry. When he started, I said, how much is it? 89? I said, because of 89, you put your Instagram to private, you are scared of. He said, even in the streets, he doesn't go out anyhow. 89 million. I said, if I have Koboko, I will flog you. Right? If you do that, let it be a bigger amount. And by the time I shared with him a lot of experiences I've had losing money in business, he was inspired. While we were there, he changed his Instagram from private to public. So whoever will come out, I should come. And these are just simple challenges in business. It wasn't to branding and all of that. I know how you just lose money and all that. These things are normal. Wake up. So, have a mentorship session. Even if you pay per hour, right? I charge per hour as well. Book a 1 hour session with me. And I promise you, we'll figure out the way out. The next is how to start a big idea. Start. That's it. Just start it. Right? Start it. Just start. You see, I always give this analogy. How many of you have done skydiving before?
No. You should know we don't do that. We'll be scared of skydiving.
Now I agree that I am black outside, I am white. I once did skydiving from 13,000 feet above the sea level. Right? And And let me not deceive you. I was number 10. When the first person jumped, second person, by the time I got to my turn, I was scared too. Okay, when it was time to jump, I held the plane, I'm not going. My coach had to push me. So, and then I fainted for like 5 seconds. When I realized I was still alive, then I opened one eye. I saw we were still far from the ground. I opened the second, then I started doing like this. So if you watch my video of skydiving, you see me do like this as if I was brave. At some point, I was scared. So I tell people, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is keep moving despite you are scared. Just keep going. And figure out how you're going to land on your way down. Right? If I knew everything it would take in this real estate business, I would not start. If I knew at some point I would lose money, I remember calling 2008, we were doing retreat, January like this. I had 10 clients who had given me money for investment. And I was trying to buy land in Betuleki. I saw opportunity in Betuleki. The first land will make deposit, we want to get signage. Tout will come. I said, you don't have land yet. I said, who did you pay to? We mentioned, I said, no, this was not have land. It's just an agent. We did like that 3 times, lost a lot of money. So I remember calling 10 of my clients who we did like this kind of syndication. So I begging them, I lost your money. Another 6 months, I will pay you back your capital and your interest. And you know how I felt almost dehumanized. I hope you know what you mean to call someone. And you know how some of them say, well, how did you lose the money? You said you understand real estate works and all that. I just felt so. But the discipline, the character to still call them, I knew was important. Right? Didn't matter, and I paid everybody. By the end of that year, we paid everybody their capital and their interest. Are we together now? Yeah. Are we together? Yep. So I learned big time from those experiences. And I said to myself, if I had known I would lose money, I would go through all of that, will I have done it? No. But if I have not done it, will I be here? No. Will you even be here? No. Because I won't be able to even afford to bring you for a meeting like this. Right. So start. This whole fear, someone will steal my idea, is the first person, right, to run with the idea that is the owner. So all this someone is stealing your idea. Do you know how many ideas I have? I have a 50-year goal plan. I still have more than 100 ideas I cannot touch because I don't have the resources. So all this will steal my idea. In fact, Elon Musk put it this way. So those who patent their ideas are mediocre entrepreneurs. If you are really good, it won't be easy to copy your idea. Because it's yours, you're original, you're authentic. It's yours. So start. Stop being afraid. Start anyhow, because there's this starting phase of that big idea. Right? Who can tell me the starting phase of being a prime minister? Anybody have an idea? No. And enter the pit. Enter the pit. You forgot the story of Joseph. Enter pit. That's the beginning. From pit to slavery. No, slavery. From slavery, you become ex-convict like Donald Trump. But that palace you enter. Can't you see what's going on now? Right? It was courage that we're talking about. The man knew that the way things are going, they will send me to jail. Whether I try it or not. So what do I have to lose? Let me attempt it. If I attempt it, worst that will happen, the best case will be, alright, I'll become the president, appeal the case. Even if I lose all the appeal, I'll pardon myself. How about that? Am I making sense at all? Courage. Courage, guys. So start. Look for the starting phase.
The starting phase may not be glamorous, may look local. Look at Colonel Sanders, KFC. Who knows KFC? Old man, 60 something, 62. Started with $100. He knows how to fry chicken. And started with it. And today, see KFC, multi-billion-dollar franchise all over the world. Start somewhere, start. It may not be glamorous. Colonel Sanders started with his kitchen in his own house. A global franchise. Start somewhere. Okay? Have I answered you? Yeah.
Please put your hands together for greatness. I love what Dr. said about mentorship. Please, I would like you to write this down.
For those of you who want to buy the book, you can go and start ordering now so we don't rush when we're done with the questions. So order, get it so I can sign once we're done answering all the questions.
Please write it down. Mentorship is the legal shortcut to success.
Let me give you guys a bonus. I think I have 9 books there. Anyone buying all the 9 books, Mr. Tyron, make sure you get their email and phone number. I'm giving them 3-month access worth $1,000 to the Akintayo University.
Anyone with 9 books?
Anybody buying all the 9 books.
A round of applause, a round of applause, a round of applause.
It's $1,000 bonus coaching for free.
Number 8? Number 7, yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akintayo. It's a very big privilege to have you here. Such an invaluable knowledge you've deposited in us today. So grateful. So I have a very straightforward question. And my question is, how do we keep up with the momentum after we are out of here? For example, you said a lot with myself.
Good question.
Which myself and other people have.
Can we be a bit quiet at the back, please, so that we can hear him?
Yeah. Right. For example, you said a lot which myself and I believe other people have really taken into consideration. For example, you talked about the credit system, OPM, OPT, going incorporated, which I believe, not even I believe I would most likely do once I step out of here. So my key question is, how do we keep up with the momentum? Because once we leave here, life kicks in. Couple of failures here and there, the drag, then you start thinking it's village people and the rest. So how do we keep it? How do we keep that action going? So that's my question. Thank you very much.
Beautiful question. Please let's clap for this question. I love that question.
Thank you. Number 8.
All right, thank you so much.
If we can have 2 people or 3 people help with the books so that I can move faster. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Steven. I'm one of your followers on Facebook. I listen to most of your live broadcasts, but the one that touched me is your experience in Texas. The person that I have as my old mentor, he flew all the way from New Jersey to come and see you. That's a blessing of Dr. King's. So he was now telling me, I said, you are in Canada. He said, Iwan, if you don't go and see that man, you know, as in to a great extent, I can say that you are really a blessing to the Black nation.
Thank you.
All right. So my question is this: for some of us that are new, what is the best strategy for a beginner to start investing in real estate? Thank you.
Thank you. Number 9.
Good afternoon, Doctor, and good afternoon, everybody. Olawale Prince Ayediba. My question is twofold, and I also have one contribution. I've also been following you, I think, since 2020 during the pandemic. Stumbled on a video you and one man did in the US. I have forgotten the name of the man now. He said when he came, he was into care, stuff like that. He was employing people and stuff like that. He has his own agency like that. I've forgotten the story. Ever since I've been following as well. I'm a realtor from back home, from Nigeria. I started sometimes in 2010 before I left. Now, I'm also a realtor here. I'm into real estate investment. We have done quite a number of things. God has helped us. I have some of my investors around here. Did some other stuff with Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. My question and some of the challenges I've seen around our people boil down to knowledge and the ability to take risk. That you have addressed. I came in a little late because I missed the address. Kept driving on that town. So this is my question. How do you get people who are just coming up? How do you raise money? You talk about this, you bought that, you do that. How do you raise money for your business? How much of your own personal money is in the things you do? That's one. Number two, how do you scale your business? Scale your business. You talk about, especially when you have to work with, multiple people. How do you scale it at that level? I'm not talking about business that is doing a turnover. Businesses are already doing a turnover of over $100,000. And then for people, I don't do land banking. I do more of property resale. And then we buy property. When I bought mine, it was an Indian woman that I went through a mentorship. You said something sometimes during one of your, I think on Facebook or something that I held to. You were asking people, how much have you lost, how much have you lost, how much have you lost money? And then you said you started minimizing your loss when you begin to have mentors. So I key into that. I have not really have so much loss. And I've been privileged to do business in multiple millions of dollars and have portfolio of over $5 million here. I try to help our people to even get them houses. Then when I was buying mine, I bought my own because of my mentorship with zero down. I had just $4,500 and I bought a property of $1 million. Property at highly expensive here, and I put down 20%. As at that time, I don't even have papers. So when you are buying as foreigner, the charge will be more. And the property I bought also have a cash flow. I have tenants that was paying the mortgage initially when I bought it. So we have our people understanding, okay, let's buy, get to buy. Help over 25 people to buy. Then I wasn't an agent. But most especially are people when they don't follow instruction to the letter. Like you said, somebody wants to buy investment property, they want to buy something big, they are not looking at the location. A lot of them, as soon as they bought, interest rate begins to go up. So some of them that are paying mortgages of $5,000 begins to pay $10,000. Some of them $4,000 to $8,000. A lot of them couldn't cope, so they lost those money. And then, by and large, when Dr. Olumide Emmanuel came, we went to subscribe to his mentorship, and then he begins to give me, another direction on how to go about it, which we started. And to the glory of God, we were able to do 3 investment property last year, and 3 investment property last year. So my question, and also last year, the governor of Niger State came. I was the one that spoke to him on real estate, and he's trying to do something somewhere very close to Abuja. I'm not too familiar with those areas because I've left Nigeria quite some time now. So my question is the terrain in Nigeria, because we have principle that works here. Just like the problem I used to have it back then. When you bought land from somebody, your money will take you there, some other people will come, they take the land away from you, and you are going back and forth, and people begin to drag you, especially when you have integrity. And so, if you are going to go into that, knowing fully whether these people don't have they don't have a permanent policy. This government can come in right now, they gave you some kind of permit, because we are talking about projects of over $1 trillion. So, and how do you go into those kind of, especially with Nigerian system as it is right now, to make sure you are also secure? So this, I don't know if those my questions are too.
What's your name again?
My name is Praise.
Okay. Good question. I think I have 3 now, right?
Yes. That's number 8, right? Number 9. Who is number 9? Number 9. Okay, so that's 3.
She's 10.
10. Oh, let's take.
Okay, so beginners starting real estate, I believe is it. Okay, how to keep the momentum? Good question. I will say that success is not a destination but a journey. And it's important to understand that knowledge is also not a one-off thing. You have to constantly feed yourself. Eagle don't feed on dead meat. They feed on fresh kill. Lions don't feed on dead meat. They feed on fresh kill. If you want to fly high, if you want to rise high, you have to consume quality information, consistent, right? Have a rudiment of, say, every day, 2 hours audio book or a book I'm going to read, right? Those are the things that at some point mentally you are not in this right. I don't know that you understand. I don't know that you've been like that where it's like you are floating. You are not with everybody else. You go, and that's where some of us are, where we can dare anything, right? Because if yes, you gossip about us and say we're biting too much, and it's your business. By the time you are done gossiping, you see that even if we didn't hit the ultimate, where will we land? We'll still be way higher than where you, the gossiper, is. Right? So, but those things, to sustain it, you have to constantly feed. Right? You have to constantly feed heavily. Number 2 is get a mentor at your level. If you can't afford me, somebody's at the back, he's already doing 5 million. Tell him to mentor you. Start there. You know, sometimes we have all these big people we look up to. I tell people, I say, start with their books. You may not be able to afford one-on-one with me, but for now, maybe my books, my video courses, but a day will come, you'll be able to afford me, I'll be able to afford you. When I talked about Robert Kiyosaki, I never could afford it until recently. Right? John Maxwell, I will read these people's book. But today I host them and pay. Right? And they can say, I'm proud of you. Right? I'm shocked that you said my story changed your life like this. Wow. You see? God bless you, my daughter. She's happy. Right? So, I will advise that that's what you want to do. You keep some of us as role model, then you look around. There are some people who may not be necessarily where we are, but what they are doing is already huge. Right? Start with them, because they too will get to where we are now. Right? I hope it makes sense. I tell people, I said, some people now want to start building relationship with Bishop Oyedepo as pastor. Maybe they are starting ministry. You know you have failed. Right? As a pastor. You are starting ministry today, and then your mentor has to be Oyedepo. You know you have missed it. Because the people like Endeche, Reverend Sam, who are direct mentees of Oyedepo, did not start their relationship with Oyedepo today. Yes. They started 25 years ago. So where was Oyedepo 25 years ago? Where were they? You see the point now? So some of you have people who potentially, am I making sense at all? Are going to be at the level of those you who are all over media like us. And you have them, you're ignoring them. There's a Dr. Stephen, who is in Houston. And if I lives in the air, you don't know where you will catch him. Right? So there are people around you that can start that relationship. Can I beg you not to leave here until you get a number of 10 people? You have no idea people sitting in this room. You have no idea. Get at least 10 people. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in this. One day is everybody's story change. One day. One day. Because the caliber of people here are people who take their life and finances serious. Nobody will enter snow and come here if they are not taking their finances serious. Do you agree with me?
So at least 10 people get their content and try and create a community of some sort. We'll try and build a WhatsApp group for all of you, right? But community is the secret. If you have a community of hungry people, okay, you can't fail. The problem is that most of us, our friends are not as hungry as we are. Am I making sense to you? You need to see me talk to those who are my friends. They are hungry. Hungry. I hosted one of them on my podcast. I don't know if many of you watch it on my podcast. Right? His name is Topero Shewa. He was a multi-billionaire real estate company. Hungry as hell. As hell. And this one makes money at all. But hungry like no man's business. So you need people like that. Not those who are complacent about their lives. You need people who tell you, our goal this year, 2025, is to do $10 million. You two will say, well, we too. God will help us. You may not be able to announce your own number, but in your mind, say, that's my new friend. Am I making sense to talk? The more he keeps talking, gradually, me too, I will keep increasing my vision, right? But many of us, instead of surrounding ourselves with people like that, what do we do? We get jealous, very arrogant. Why is he telling me $10 million? He wants to show off. That's why he said $10 million. Am I making sense to talk? Don't do that. Rather, in your mind, say, I want to be close to someone like this. Me too, one day, this will be my normal reality. Please, those of us at the back, can we reduce our voice? Please, there's too much noise. So, next, how do I raise money for business? I can't share all of it here, but I encourage you. Mr. Praise, are you with me? Yeah. Is your question I'm answering now? Okay. Don't worry, continue what you're doing. Beginners starting phase in real estate. Go and look for a real estate developer to partner with. Are we together now? I did not start with my own real estate development. I started 15 years ago as a property agent, about 17 years now. I was selling for somebody else too. Today we've sold, by the grace of God, myself and my team, so over $1 billion worth of real estate. Right? I've sold more real estate for other people than I sold for myself until today. There's a scripture that says, if you are not faithful in that which is another man's, who will give you your own? Many of us have not rise to where we should rise because we are too selfish. Everything is about me. If it's not about me, I'm not interested. Some of us need to start betting visions for other people. And you watch how God will lift you. You see, pipe that passes water does not die of thirst. The water is passing through. So we all need to begin to see, how do I become the channel for water to pass through? How can I be the go-to guy for a billionaire? That should be your mindset. All this, I want to make money, I want to touch money. There are some things that are fundamental. Are we together now? One answer, you are starting your own seminar there. You started your own seminar. Are we together? So some things are fundamental. It will happen naturally. Am I making sense? It happens naturally. I realized there was a customer does not have much of social media presence. I said, I want to handle that for you. Right? If I were to charge at least 100 million every year is what I would charge for it. Got staff for it, got everything. Like $1 I didn't charge. You know, we got talking. Someone at this level does. I have written 45 books. He only had one book that someone wrote for him. I said, me and you will write a book. We are launching next month. Just position that somebody greater than you can have more of their dreams realized through you, and you watch how you realize automatically. Because things you will have now been begging for, naturally you will be seeing it in your area. You have no idea.
what my eye have seen since I've started serving Dr. Cosmos. Things that, even if we were to have sat down, he wouldn't remember to tell me. By watching live, and I said, no, we go replicate. It makes sense? Yeah. So for those who say I want to start, go and look for somebody doing real estate here. I say, sir, 6 months, I want to serve you. Right? Even if it's part-time, because you work. Let me come weekends. Let me do, hang around someone. That's the secret of the Jews. That's the secret of the Igbos. Go and serve someone. Serve. Tell your neighbor, serve someone. Serve someone. Serve someone. Tell another neighbor, say, if they don't use you, you don't use you. They don't use you, you don't use you. Tell they are using you. Use you. Exactly. Some of you watch my Honest Bond podcast. Where I was saying, I said, even me, I want that good thing to use me as a day. So let him use. I want to be used anyhow. There's just that Elon Musk say, Steve, I want to use you. Elon, I'm leaving your GTEX. GTEX, Emma, okay. I am now resuming in Elon Musk's house. Right? And I kid you not. Literally, I'll tell my company, they will be fine. Thank God I've even structured it that way. Don't need me much. I will be resuming in Elon Musk's house. Use me. Right? Because that's the only way to be what? Useful. So, the next question, how do you raise money for business? So, that's your question. I can't answer all of you today, so book a session. But I will start by saying, do syndication. But you see, syndication becomes easier based on the quality of relationship you have. Right? If you build your it's called social network. How many people can invest $1 million one time with you from your social network? How many people can do $10 million? Right? The goal is not that they did. The first goal is you have people that can. Am I making sense of that? Right? Social what? Network. No, that's not the word. Social capital. Social capital, thank you. Social capital. The first thing is build your social capital. So one of the things I started doing when I realized I have this problem, I started building relationship with people that have needs. The goal wasn't that they should give me their money, but let me even have that interaction. So, am I answering your question? So, target, let's assume that how much is as your highest investor ever given? One time? 500,000. 500,000. So, the goals now should be, I want to have somebody that can, not that they give me, but someone with the capacity to give me $10 million. Right? So I have, you can say I want 10 people in this category. Someone that can give me $5 million. I want what? 20 people in this category. Someone that can give me $1 million what? Dollars. I want what? 100 people in this category. That's how you start building your social capital. Naturally, without you forcing it, as you keep building healthy relationships, you'll be the one to call you out. As maybe you are doing real estate. I have $1 million. Let me give it to you now. What will you give me? Right? But where we miss it is that we build relationships like that, and the one in our mind is, I want the $10 million. But that's not how it works. There is no trust yet. Right? The relationship is new. They've not seen your antecedent. Am I making sense of job? So, but if you go about it, I just need them to be in my social affairs. Naturally, the day those money will start coming, you won't even believe it. In some cases, do you know it's not even them that give it, it's their friend. Because their friend thinks they gave you. Right? So I think, where is it? I know. Do you know there are people now who say, if one of my friends said, a guy calling from you, I said, you know that Steve like that?
Dr. Cosmos gave him $100 million. Back to the lion. Said the way he supported the guy. Said, that's why he's buying property all over the world. That's parting with money. and my friend knows that there's something like that. He didn't even know how to deny. He just said, He just said, That's what he just did. But I said, it's better they think the Cocos will give money before they, oh boy, it seems a scam. It's Yahoo. I mean, it's better you think a rich man gave me money than to think otherwise. Right? So I even prefer that. So many of them, even their friends, they will tell me, when do you people are close? I know there's a lot of deal. Oh yeah, me too. Let's do something. Right? So, but the thing is, build a good, healthy relationship. This December, how many people got your hamper? One of those who got my hamper, said to me, this is the best hamper I've ever gotten. You know how to pack hamper. This is rich. In this Canada, who were those you say hamper to? That's how you build your social fair. Right? They are the kind of people, am I making sense at all? Do you know there are some very rich people that eventually, when we now met, they say, by the way, thank you. I think 2 years ago you sent me a gift. How come they didn't reach out to me? They got the gift too. 2 years later, I said, you sent me a gift 2 years ago. Thank you for that. Are we learning here? I hope I've answered you. But in the meantime, while you're waiting for all these rich people, strengthen your current network. Add more value to them. Get them to want to tell more people. Get testimonials from those who have given 500K, 100,000, 10,000. Tell them, are you willing to give me a testimony video? Put it out on social media. It's also how you build your social capital. Let people who have had interaction, am I making sense at all, begin to talk about the impact. Like, I hope my team are here, all of you here now, they will take your testimony of this meeting and we'll put it out there. That's how you grow. Anybody, you help somebody, they learn something, let them talk about it. Right? And we don't do this enough in our community. Power of testimony. We don't do it enough. Right? We don't do it enough. So, then the last way, how to raise money. Begin to build, so get a CFO. Right? So I handed over our company to a group CEO who is an investment banker of over 20 years last year. Right? I'm now the chairman of the company. So at some point, bring people who have experience of what we call institutional funding. Are we together now? Bring them into the company. Because they are the ones that can scale. You have started with hustle. Right? It's those ones who have understanding of institutional funding who can now start reaching out to banks, reaching out to institutions, right? To take the business to the next level. I hope I'm answering your question right. So those are just syndication, which you're already doing, right? Bring in professionals who will now start positioning you for institutional funding. Get more high net worth in your social capital. Mentorship, which you already know. Okay? You need quality mentorship. I love that you started with Dr. Cosmos. Book my own too. Book my own too. And let's say, when it comes to knowledge, it's never too much. Right? The more, the better. Because everybody has different angle, right, to the entire thing. But there are some more that we may not be able to share here. But a lot of easy. You're already doing well. You can scale it way better. You're in a way better position. But the question is, are you hungry? If you're hungry, how far?
The last one is Nigeria. For Nigeria, it's about network. It's about network. Our land business, the chairman of our advisory board is a former IG of police. We have military generals, we have retired judges. Right? We had to arm our Nigerian business to the teeth. Media is another angle. So it's not easy doing business in Nigeria, but it can be done. I'm a proof of that. And I'm willing to teach you. But some of those things are private conversations. They are private. Because if you put it out on social media now, the way your story will land. But they are not just being honest. Running business in Nigeria is a whole different kettle of fish. Right? So you really have to be strong, you really have to be firm, you have to be dogged, and you need to have tough skin because they will drag you. And most of it are lies. No truth whatsoever. But people would, at some point I had to do a press conference, invite almost all media houses. I said, look, final warning. If you guys carry fake news about me, I will literally, and I showed them somebody, I literally took to court. He landed a cricket. So there's a story going on about me now. No media has carried it. And it's fake. Because they won't do their investigation.
Exactly.
And then before you know it, the media houses too will now, and it's the media house that will now put the authenticity on it.
Exactly.
Because anybody can just carry any story now. The guy carried the news then, but he went to jail. Said he got a court order and was showing court document that he stopped a criminal enterprise in Abuja. And that was a week after I launched one of our estates in Abuja. Right? People expect me to reply. I didn't reply. We took it up legally. In fact, I was the one begging at the end of the day for him to be released. Right? I was waiting. It's taking too long. Right? I'm sure he left his less. Because people will just try you. And sometimes this is the person fighting you. But you go online and look for anybody who is displeased with you. Go and talk to them, give them money. Right? To pick up the so-called fights they said. So you even see the hand of the real person fighting. Like that boy is not the one that had issue with me. It was another guy in Dubai that scammed us $1 million that used him. It was even his lawyer. Spawned everything. And now one put his head. Right. So running business in Nigeria is a tough one. Very tough. But you can do it. And the money is not here. It's in Nigeria. Trust me. Even if it's $10 million, $30 million, it's not here. It's back at home. Because all you can touch in Nigeria. It's real money. I laugh sometimes when I meet Nigerians in diaspora. $50,000! That's it. I just say, well, I think some people took me serious. Didn't take me serious until we started our Houston project. Is that project? We have been underrated this guy. Because some of the movie he made, we have been here 30 years, we couldn't do it. Because, you people easily underrate the Nigerian people. God will help us. But there's money in Nigeria. And we can make it happen. Let's just work on a one-on-one mentorship.
Put your hands together. If that applause was for you, I think it's too much, but if it's for Dr. Benjamin, one is standing applause. Thank you, sir.
Are we done? more?
Yeah.
3 more, no more, so we can go. I've tried, haven't I? Okay. 3 more, we're done.
Good afternoon, Dr. Stephen. I'm super excited to be here, and the grace in the room is solid. Thank you so much. My name is Uluwadamilare Tibitokwe from Akonegede Yoruba, a Yoruba language coaching
You've been
platform.
chasing me all over the world.
I'm sorry.
No, bad. Nice meeting you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. My question is this. While you were talking, you said you have registered your business, like 10 business that you have registered. And I'm just like 12 months here in Canada. I've also tried to register this business. And it's tough.
To register business in Canada?
No, I need to connect with people and get them to see.
We have 50 people here.
That is one of the reasons why I'm here. They should see me and know me.
She teaches children how to speak Yoruba. So if you are a Yoruba person and you want to teach your children, she's the best person.
Thank you so much. Please, did you record that? Thank you, Doctor. So, and then you said, when you were writing on this side, you said, some of us, you want to say weak, you want to say bad, you want to say everything. So how do we strike a balance when you have different ideas and then you don't want to make mistakes? Like, I also have other idea of this language thing that I'm doing. I want to add a product part, to it. And I don't want to go wrong. I don't want to she's everywhere. But now that I have seen you, you are the role model. I will be everywhere. As I'm selling this, I'm selling that. So, Doctor, please, what do you think I can do, or how do I go about such that I will deliver excellence, service, either as a service provider or as a product
marketer.
Marketer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Number 11. Okay. Thank you very, very, very much, Dr. Akintayo. This has been an incredible source of education, information, encouragement, inspiration, empowerment, and certainly significant impact. And I want to especially welcome you to Canada. I've been in Canada now for 13 years. And before that, I lived in the UK for about 10 years. And before that, I was obviously in Nigeria. I grew up in Nigeria. I'm proud of our heritage. It's amazing to see all that you have done and have accomplished. Real estate has been a passion that I've had for about 20 years. Invested in the UK, moved to Canada, invested here, participated in quite a bit of syndication. Mr. Aziz and I are part of a network, real estate investing network, where every member of that network is actually called an eagle. So when I started following you and I found out that you're called the eagle, I had to doff my cap to you. Those who understand the power of an eagle and the characteristics of an eagle certainly will identify with what you've done. So, we've done a number of syndications. In fact, the syndications that we've done recently in Canada are usually tagged as Eagle. The last one we did was a 44-unit apartment building, brand new, that will be acquired in January 2024.
Impressive. Please clap for them, because this is what I want to hear. We coming together and doing things like this. Good.
And we call that the Eagle Expansion project. The one before that was a 24-unit, brand new 24-unit apartment building, again syndication.
Beautiful.
And that was called the Eagle's Flight building.
Beautiful.
And the majority of investors there were people of color, of our heritage.
Beautiful.
So I'm extremely passionate about this. I have two questions for you, but I wanted to put this out there because, and first I will just share a story that I believe I was inspired and led to reflect on a few days ago. And I believe it's in Genesis chapter 9, I think.
For people will know the story anyway, because it's a worldwide story. It's the story of building the Tower of Babel. And that story started with the fact that at the time in the world, whether you believe it's, depending on what your faith is, whether you believe it's fiction or it's non-fiction, I believe it was non-fiction, it was real. Everybody on the face of the earth at that time had the same language.